on, wait a minute. What do you got going on? You haven't even said yet. So what are you,
Well,
are you giving it up?
Welcome, race fans. Watermelons and Woodchips presented by Central Iowa Diesel Performance, and we're on episode 35.
35. Terry Schaffer.
Yeah.
Old Terry Schaffer.
Yeah, there's a shot.
Good one. Hey, man, he was a motor cheating some man.
I pulled one of them right out of his car one night.
Oh, I'll guarantee he still remembers it.
I know he does. And it was a 327, and she was a hog.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, kind of not a whole hog, but it was a hog. Yeah, it was a good one. Not even 30 seconds in, we're hammering out a claim. So
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you know, obviously we have Jonathan Logue, our resident redhead down there, but we got another one to join you today, so you're not alone.
We've had quite a few gingers on here.
We have.
Okay. I'm just saying.
Well, and it's 2-2 right out of the gate when
Right.
we open the doors.
Right.
And depending on the guest, it gets some people get outnumbered quick.
Mm-hmm. But Bruce Badgley's here with us. He's the track photographer at Boone Speedway and other places throughout the years as well, but been with us at Boone for a long time and has Motorsports Photography. So we will talk to Bruce ask him plenty of questions once we get down the road here. But the first thing is always like you made it. You figured out where you were supposed to go. Apparently Josh gave you the wrong address.
Well, west side versus east side.
It's like my test for everybody. If I give them an address, if they find us, they really want to be on, I guess. I don't know.
Right.
Cough box.
It
Cough
works.
box, it
Hell
works.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Well,
so we're getting a few things dialed in here. Something behind your head there in two different ways.
That's right. That's right. We got starting to get some stuff up in here, starting to look a little bit more homey, if that makes sense.
We'll have the TVs fired up probably after tomorrow.
Yep. We'll have some interwebs going, and yeah, a lot of exciting stuff here. So, you know,
But it was an exciting weekend.
it really was. I was going to say all the way across.
There was a lot of everything going on this past weekend in racing. Thursday night, Algona kicked off their week, running their, I think, third night.
I think that's right.
And then you had Marshalltown had to do a little track pack over there, which was nice to see the cars get out there and participate. I seen the jammer Jimmy Gustin make a post on there. No, don't be bitching about the racetrack if you weren't out there packing.
That's right.
I also got a Snapchat from him of guys, if you listen to the show and you are, I said here a few weeks ago, if you're behind Jimmy Gustin in a pack session, you are going to get sprayed in the face with mud at like 6,800. I'm just telling you. And then I seen another Snapchat about 4 minutes later, and Jerry was whipping the old fire truck tires at Jim there. So they worked that in. Looks like it ended up working out for him and turning into a good show over there for everybody there towards the end of the night. The track came around, and then Saturday, holy moly, what a marathon, guys.
Yeah, that felt like a late afternoon Super Nationals race. Like just
Certainly did.
Go. But
Right.
But what can you do? I mean, that's the rough thing is.
Well, I don't know. Start an hour earlier, maybe. I mean, that would have been kind of
that
cool.
I understand.
Here's a positive thing about it. It was like if you got there at 5 o'clock, racing got over at 12:56. It was like an 8-hour day. You're just imagine going to work, but you're going to the racetrack and watching. I mean, you got to see a ton of racing.
Yep.
And I tell you what, it was some of the best racing, in my opinion, that's been at Boone Speedway all year.
A lot of door to door. A lot of, coming down to the line, maybe 1-2 to go. Close racing, and I won't say completely packed grandstand, but there was a lot of people there. They ran a EMS and National Public Works Week promotion. If you worked at either of those professions, you got in for free, and people showed out. Like,
oh, it was crazy.
It was.
My dad, when he showed up, and we were kind of just shooting the shit, and it's like, man, there is a crowd over there.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think the show ran good. There were some hiccups. There was just a lot of moving parts on Saturday. There was just a lot going on, and One of my favorite things that happened over the course of the night was Tommy gets on the radio and says, Jimmy Gustin, this is your feature number 2 to staging.
Well, because he'd asked Tommy like 4 or 5 times, like, okay, so are we in, if we're on
Which
A2?
feature?
It was hilarious. I mean, it was so funny.
That is funny.
That was probably one of my highlights of the night, for me anyway.
That was a little tweak that Rod wanted to throw in and I won't completely speak for him, but I think what he was looking for was groups of races to run between farms. So
well,
that
it made more sense that way.
So the laps kind of added up the same, so then the track would last about the same?
How I took it was like how we used to run. We're running B features. This is the B feature segment of the show.
Right.
In the middle? Yeah.
In the middle of the show.
Yeah.
Because what's been happening and what I've been noticing has been happening is once the modifieds go out, everybody starts gravitating and leaving.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and then, like it bums me out. Like Saturday, I'm like backing out and I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta leave before all of you guys this time, and so everybody's like, where are you going? I'm like, it's the first time because I've been in the second feature a lot of the times.
Yep.
So
Technically you still were.
Yeah,
in the
you really
second
were.
feature.
You were just in the first one on the track.
Yeah.
right. That's what I'm saying. So it was like, it was just weird, but it was good. We loaded up and then I got to go home and I'm like, I'm sitting in my bed in my undies and I'm like, yep. Got the races on.
I know you were texting us about the speed sign while we were still racing.
If it wouldn't have been so late and we weren't going to have such a day on Sunday trying to get the race car ready to go to the Whole Hog 50, I would have been down there maybe messing with the speed cam a little bit. But I kept seeing the green light on the broadcast, and I'm like, all right. That's bugging me because A, it's not working, and B, just shut it off.
Yeah. Did they really come up with a permanent home for that? What's the idea on that?
No, I think
it was a test.
It was
Saturday,
a
right?
big test on Saturday, which failed horribly.
It worked some. It did.
It did. I did see. So when we got it down there, we took Coop down there. Coop, we went down there and did a little live footage. Cooper was supposed to post it online. I don't know what he's done with the video. I think he might be scared to post it because I was, razzing him a little.
I can imagine.
But it was just a test run. I think that we want to. Well, I don't mean to say we because I feel like it's my project. But I want to be able to get down there and. I don't really necessarily. We did the quick chat GPT read through on what does what, and my buddy's the one that actually got it figured out. Because we had to program it. Like there's certain things, and so we took it out to the speedway. Of course, we get it there, turned on. It's picking up the tractor 7 mile an hour, 9 mile an hour, and so I'm like, we're good. Coot shows up. I'm like, bud, let's go down. Let's fire it up. And let's, doesn't work.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, oh, right on. Well, there's 3 buttons on it. And it's push this one 2 times to get to this mode and then push this button to do this 3 times. It's like a thing, right? Okay. So me and buttons and electrical, and that is not good. But we got it turned on, and I think there's the positioning of the eye that catches your speed is pretty finicky, and I think it's just because I don't know what I'm doing with it. But we picked up some sport mods. They were going 67 mile an hour in hot laps, and I don't know who it was or whatever, but that was also going into the corner. So I tried doing, because there's like a degree that you got to have on it, and so I was cranking down, and we had the phone out on it and was doing the whole angle on the dangle thing, and that wasn't working. Then I'm just kind of like, okay, it was picking up a few, and it was sunny, so you couldn't see the light really well. I'm like, when it gets dark out, this thing's going to be cock. It's going to look good.
It's going to be bright.
It's going to look good.
Yep.
And then I get out there, and I'm like,
where's it at?
It's not working. Why?
But then it would pick him up on cautions.
Yeah. And I'm like, yep. That's great, you know.
Just needs a little tweaking.
Well, I think, so once we get it tweaked a little bit and figure out what we're doing with it on the cart, the track doctor and I, and Jeff, I talked to Jeff about it a little bit this week, and Lottie was kind of pumped up about it, like it was a good, you know, just it's something different,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So we want to think that once we get it figured out, we want to hang it on the light pole and going into turn 3.
Yeah.
Which... I mean, I'm no electrical guy or anything, so Jason, we're going to lean on you for this a little bit. Mm-hmm. But I think it's just a power cord that goes to a battery, and then there's, you know, the part that picks it up. We just unscrew that out of the box, and then I think we can mount it somewhere, and we're just going to have to, and it's going to be like this.
Looking right down the back straightaway, it's going to be awesome.
It's going to be cool, yeah.
Yes,
it's going to be super cool, but it was a horrific fail on Saturday.
Not horrific. So in working in engineering, there really are no failures. You're just learning. So
now I get why you're an engineer.
yeah, because I learn a lot.
Right? I know. I watched you.
Yes, you
engineer this cart over here that we had for.
Sure did, and it's with the spectacular instructions that luckily Katie came along and straightened me out on that, because me and instructions don't work too well. But yes, I think it's very cool. And who do we have to thank for that magnificent piece of machinery anyway?
What?
That speed trap.
Oh, Elmquist Towing.
Jake Elmquist.
Jake Elmquist.
Very cool.
Another huge supporter of the racetrack, does so much for the Boone Speedway. Not just the Boone Speedway. He does a lot for a lot of racetracks.
He does. And racers.
Right. And for him to, you know, I mean, it's just kind of cool.
It is.
You know.
It's very cool. Yep.
But, yeah, what a night. I mean, the mod race kind of fired off and was kind of, I mean, the track was like, I'm like, holy shit, this is going to be good, you know. And
it's like an old hobby stock race, 12 laps, you know.
Yeah.
Boom.
I mean, and so everybody was aggressive right away.
Right now.
Because we only got this many laps, you know. And I think you guys did the right thing on how you started them side by side.
With your, because the leader was gone.
The leader's gone.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yes, that's why.
Okay.
He would have started out front by himself.
Who was
but
the
he
leader?
That 118 car.
Yes, Patterson. Jesse Patterson.
Okay.
I think.
Okay. Because in the stock car feature, I was actually supposed to start 8th or 4th row outside and ended up starting 2nd row outside because two people weren't able to make it, you know. So I think they just, which I disagree with this. I think that's crap, but I think you guys should definitely
crisscross when somebody's missing on a double feature. That is something we should probably have a conversation about that.
Well, just because we had so much time.
Right.
Like, okay, they didn't check in. Mm-hmm. So, like, you know, in my opinion, I guess we should have just, you know, like, basically I started 2nd row, so 3rd row inside, in my opinion, should have went to 2nd row. And then the guy in 3rd row outside should have went to 3rd row inside.
Right.
And then, you know, kind of switched around, so it's like not the guys in the row are just benefiting from it. Like,
right. It's definitely a precedent in the past. It's always been shove them ahead so that, you know, so we're not having to go through the lineups and figure all that out. But I see how there can be a conversation about it.
Yeah, and it's always been that way. I've just always wondered why they didn't do that, you know.
But like they always say, it hurts you this time, next time it benefits you.
Correct.
And it shot you forward this time instead of, and usually you'd be the one that gets to watch everybody else move forward and go, what the hell?
Well, and that's just, it's man, like I seen Jake McBurney's post on Facebook about the whole draw and Vinton,
COVID
draw. It was, I got a chuckle out of it because, man, it's like sometimes it feels like you're getting the short end of the stick. Like I get it. It's just computer and you just do this, but Jake's 3 for 3 on that, you know, and that's what he posted. And it's like, man, it just makes you wonder, you know, but that's just how it is. I mean, I get it. I understand, but I agree with Jake. I wish we could go back to the old draw stuff.
On my perspective of that is I like to set it up so that it draws the number before the name, because then because people get it in their head, oh, it knows who I am, so it gives me a bad number, you know. And you can set it up that way that
I've
you
said
pick
that.
the name. But it's I move it the other way so that it's draw then pick the name, and that to me is the most. I mean, to me, I could care less one way or the other than I usually am in the position where I'm maybe the only one signing in drivers.
Yeah.
And if it's an extra 30 seconds for, like, take the whole hog, for example, 180 drivers, that adds a ton of time to what you're doing. And anything you can do to cut off a little bit of that time. Like Kristen was all by herself last night at Stewart. Did a great job.
She was slamming through the line.
Yep.
But, and maybe that's a good point, Josh. I mean, some of these people that run the MRP, maybe they'll hear this and, because once you figure out and you start getting into a rhythm, it probably doesn't take that whole 30 seconds to do that. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's a really good point that maybe some of these other people that have been doing the My Race Pass stuff for a while can start maybe trying to do that at some shows, whether it be just for one class and see if they can handle it. But yeah, I mean, 180 cars, that line was down the hill last night at Stewart.
Yep.
And I mean, they got everybody in through there real quick. The line that always, comes out and goes clear down the road is always a pain in the ass, but they pushed through that pretty fast too. They had a ticket gal out there that was actually signing in not just one person like the truck, the driver, like she was letting everybody sign in. So that was convenient. Okay. So I think that sped things up just a little bit. Mm-hmm. But
I did have, and I will say this because she called me this morning and verified it. I had 15 phone calls from Kristen last night. Exactly 15. And honestly, it's just verification of things. That was a big show for her to kind of be on her own.
Absolutely.
And we had some places we had to be last night, graduation stuff, and I told her, I said, you call me, I'll answer. If I don't answer, I'll call you right back. And I want to be that crutch for her if she needs it, because that's a big responsibility to jump in and do that by yourself. So
well, and then on top of it, I'm up there because we had some stuff change for sponsorships for the hard charger, which I don't even know who got that in the stock cars. I'd have to look.
I'll be able to tell you.
Look and see who got that. And in the sport mods, because Mid-States Machine, thanks to them, they did a $300 hard charger for the IMCA stock cars, and they did a $150 hard charger for the sport mods. But you couldn't win the race to receive that award. So I kind of thought that was a little cool twist John put on that. So then we had to switch some other stuff around. We did
Brayton Carter plus 13 is what it shows me.
Of course he got it.
That's what it shows me. Guess who was second? Tie. Jimmy Gustin, Micaiah Hadawal.
No shit. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep. All right. No, and that's great because Braden runs Mid-State Machine stuff, and that was with a Mid-States Machine motor in the car that he was running. Who got the sport mods?
I'll look it up. And Brayton was in Dallin's car. Is that right?
Yep.
And he looked for jumping. I mean, you've done that before probably. You jump in another car and it's like you just go. Like,
yeah, it is different because like I'm assuming obviously Brayden went over there and put his seat in.
Sure.
He's I think he's a little bit thicker, not much than Dallin, but it's. Yeah, man. I kind of like when I started doing it for Todd and Buck and Lori and them. We put my seat in, and it was like, I just showed up and raced the thing.
Yeah.
They had it all ready to go. They had tires ready to go, and then Matt was renting Buck, and everybody's like, "Oh, what do you think?" I mean, like it's a pretty cool thing. And Speedy Bray's, he's good. I wish he'd move up to a modified, maybe someday. Now that this spec motor is the exact same as what's in his sport mod, just has a 4-barrel on it instead of a 2-barrel.
I think he messed with me. So he went to practice at Stewart first of the year, and he had full sail panels on. And I was like, oh, he's moving up finally. He's like, well, no, it's different B mod. They have full sail panels. I'm like, that's not fair.
Right,
Don't do that to me.
Teaser.
I want to see him in a mod because I think he'll be good.
Oh, I
really do.
Definitely think that he could have success right out of the gate, right away with it, And
you're a sport mod, by the way. 3-way tie. 3 guys moved up 6 spots. Jake Sacco, Caleb Woodard, Mitchell Morris, and Jake finished the highest, so he would get it.
No kidding. Mm-hmm. Well, another Mid-States Machine guy right there. So John giving back to the racers as he always does. So thank you, Mid-States Machine, on that. Boy, guys, shit got a little spicy down in the infield after the first stock car A main at Boone Speedway.
Well, I was going to ask you, but since you brought it up.
Well, I just figured since we moved on from the Stewart deal or whatever, and that because we started with the modifieds, and then now we're
do you
going
want to go through the results for the makeup features real quick?
Yeah, let's do that.
You start with that, and then we'll go in with the conversation that me and the.
Well, it's funny that Cooper is here because he even made a comment about that because he was down in the infield with me. He was in the side by side. He's like, those guys look like they got beef. So
Did he really?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Anyway, the makeup feature, Todd Shute gets a win.
Dom, he kind of blew him away a little bit.
Yeah.
Jake McBurney second, Nick Meyer third, Jeremy Mills fourth, Corey Sauerman fifth in that one. So,
Todd rattled some wins off this year. He's starting to look a little like the Todd of old, a little.
He's on fire. Well, he had a different nose on Saturday. I don't know if you guys seen that because he KO'd the one on Friday.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But he has been on a tear in that thing.
He was not airborne, but he was skyward. Like, for a second, I was like, whoa, Todd.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the Spice, right?
The Spice.
We're right to it, just like that.
David Smith wins the stock car feature number 1. The Bobcat goes second. Tyler Pickett goes third. Hunter Smith goes fourth. Doug Smith goes fifth. But, man, that was a wild race.
That was about the race of the night from my seat.
Yeah.
Like, it was back and forth. You guys didn't touch at all until 2 to go? Almost 2 to go?
I think so, yeah.
1.5 to go?
I can't,
like that.
yeah. It was, so it was like.
coming to the white. Or was it coming to the white or coming to the 2 to go?
I think it was 2 to go.
Yeah.
Was when, so what a great race. We take off and Rod Richards and I didn't know that he broke. I thought I just slid him and then we're going, you know.
Yeah, because you wouldn't have seen him. But as soon as you cleared him, he's like, whoop.
Well, when I watched the video, I'm like, oh, shit. Because coming down the backstretch, you see his wheel just kind of do this. And then when we go into the corner, that's when I don't know if a ball joint or that's kind of what it looked like was a ball joint.
It slammed pretty hard.
Yeah. And he goes off the racetrack. And so I'm like, oh, great. I think I was leading that last lap when we come by, you know, but I'm not really sure. So now I'm going to have choice. Well, then they're like, they didn't say for me to, you know, Rod to like take. So I had no idea even at that point. I just thought, I led the lap. So we line up, and then all of a sudden I see Dave Smith down on the inside. And I'm like, all right, here he comes. You know, like, do I stay where I'm at? Because I was just a little bit too tight to run the cushion was a little nasty on Saturday. Mm-hmm. Like, and when I mean nasty is like it was grabbing you, and it would throw you around a little bit, you know. But if you could hit it, man, there was a ton of speed.
I was just going to say, you were better when you didn't have to slide up to it, you were better.
Yeah.
If you could just stay in the hammer and drive around on it, you were better. But like you could tell it was tight, so you did have to slide up into it.
Right.
It looked to me like it was I'm weird like this, but I'll call it a left rear cushion, where you run over it and your left rear could grab that, where you try to hit it with your right rear and it's trying to throw the nose of your car. And I mean, is that fair to say? Like
100%. And the only place that I've ever been able to do that is at Boone Speedway.
Yep.
But with the way that it looked, and I'm going to get into this later too about this whole spin around at Stewart Speedway, but I'm going to go with this too.
Yeah.
Last night or Saturday, it looked like it was so gummy and thick up there, if that makes sense, that you weren't going to be able to do that, because we've all been there where there's times where we're going in on the off ramp with our left rear on the cushion.
Yep.
And we're like,
it's driving.
There's nothing left by the end of the night in the middle of like 1 and 2, even in 3 and 4 we do that, where there's a little bit going in and a little bit coming out, but in the middle there's nothing. It's up to the flat spot.
Yep.
You know, and I hate that flat spot because it doesn't punish you if you go off a little bit, or, you know, like it kind of punishes you, but before you're out of the race.
Yeah. And sometimes on your lid.
And sometimes, sometimes at Super Nationals, that'll get beat down so far. Now all of a sudden we got guys up there and there's almost a lane if you got the balls. And it's not an early race or whatever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I've seen guys literally pass people up there.
But it's one, if you miss it by 6 inches, you're toast.
You're done. Right. You've got to have some big cojones to go up there and do that. So I was just hitting that, and then I seen Dave, and I'm like, because at the beginning of the race, I was underneath a hot rod. So I was running that middle lane and stuff, but I was just kind of blasting it in there and getting all loose and stuff and just trying to stay off a rod and race him clean. And so I moved down to protect a little bit, and I'm like, man, I'm worse down here than I was up there. Yep. So I go back up there, and now I'm gaining my speed, and I see Daniel Hagen. When we're coming down the backstretch, I see Daniel Hagen. You know, Dave's on the inside of me, and I'm like, at this point of the race, I'm like, I'm committed to the top because that's where my car feels the best. I feel like we're far enough. I can see Hagen's broke. I can see that he's not like on the gas broke, like something's not right. But I thought there was enough room for me to go in there and hit my lane in the corner. And then I was going to do the same thing. Like, if you don't use a lap car as a pick, you're an idiot.
Well, yeah.
And so my thought in my brain was I'm going to go in there and I'm going to carry my momentum like I have been. And I'm going to come out almost next to Dave, and we're both going to go down. Well, that didn't happen. And Dave caught me. I don't know if that's the original bumper off whatever vehicle he had in high school, but that thing's heavy and gnarly. Okay. And so when we touched, it flattened my door, my quarter panel, and everything clear into almost my firewall. I mean, it just flattened it. And then I went to swerve down to miss the 57 car, and we almost kind of got hooked together where when we went down into 1 and 2, when Dave went to set his car, like he'd been setting it the whole race, it just kind of shoved my front end up a little bit to where then I had to correct. Well, then when I got back on the gas, as you all seen, I picked his ass end up and was going to take him out. And I'm like, don't do that. And I backed out of the gas, which you can see on Doom Scroll. You know, Chris Cox, I'm going to tell you something. If you're going to film all of the shit, then I want the shit in the pit area too. Okay? Like, I mean, it's fine that you want to do the clickbait stuff. Like, that's great. But, and I'm going to get to the reasoning and why I'm saying that here in a little bit about the 41 car. But, so I'm like, I get out of the gas. I knew at that point the race is over. There's no way I'm not going to drive back past him in the corner. He has it. He wins the race.
Or
hands
through
down.
him.
Or through. Yeah,
like
I'm not going to do that.
We've seen it happen.
We've seen it happen.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to do that. So I just go up to the top, take the thing, and we go down into the infield. And, like, I'm pissed because I didn't win the race. But I wasn't mad about nothing or whatever. And so we take all the stuff, we go over to the tech area, and there's no victory lane, which, by the way, I'm pissed that there was no victory lane on Saturday. When we get to the second segment of stuff, I'll go into why I was mad about that. But
we got a lot of second segments coming.
Yes, we do. But it was a long, like I said, we were at the track for like 12 hours.
Long time.
It's okay. I mean, it's positive stuff. But I get out of the car and I go over to Dave, and I'm like, good race, but what the hell was that? And he's like, well, I didn't hit you. And I'm like, Dave, how did the door and the quarter panel go to the firewall then? And holy moly, he lost his shit and started screaming. And he goes, I can get just as mad as you can. He goes, shut the fuck up and get back in your car. I reached in my pocket, grabbed the Bogues, lit one, looked at him, and I'm like, all right.
Because his arms were going.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I could see.
Oh, yeah. I mean, everybody should have known I was calm because my arms were at my side.
Yep.
Like, I didn't even have a facial expression. Like, I was giving Dave, I know he didn't intentionally wipe me out there was no wipe. Like, I had so much fun racing and to race that close back and forth. Like, you're driving your ass off. I screwed up and pushed in 1 and 2. That was on the video. Thanks, Chris. It was great. And then all of a sudden it's all, everybody's, it's a crybaby thing. And it's like, Yeah, I'm just like, man, I wasn't mad. Like, that was just hard racing.
Yeah.
It was great racing.
Yep.
And so I just, like I said, I just lit my smoke up, got back in my car, and went back to my pit, pulled the fender off, fixed it up, and got ready for round 2. It was like, there was no retaliation. There was no thought ever once in my mind like, oh, yeah, well, screw Dave Smith. I'm going to, like, he's one of the best that's ever done it. Mm-hmm. And to race like that with him, well, first of all, the Smiths dominated on Saturday.
They had a hell of a night.
God damn.
They
They
did.
won every feature there was.
They had a hell of a night.
Fuckers. but you know what I'm saying? So that just, that's what that family does, is go to win races and stuff.
Sure.
And, if, Devin and Jimmy got into it last week, they bitch and cry just as much as we all bitch and cry. Every race car driver bitches and cries. I don't care who it is. My dad, Mark Noble, Wayne Larson, Bill Davis, all of us are crybabies.
That's so refreshing to hear.
Well, seriously.
It is.
Because it's like the altercation.
I got my ass chewed more times on Saturday.
Yeah, you did.
Not by Beam one time.
No.
Nope.
Huh?
No.
But
See?
just everybody else. Only 227 cars,
Yeah.
I think we had to.
It was like more questions, more ass chewings. Why is Flagman doing this? Why is he not doing that? I'm like, I don't know. I don't flag the fucking race.
Well, I told Cody, too. I'm like, well, bud, I don't think we'll be going to Lake City to do a podcast anymore. But maybe, maybe. He's a farmer. Like, I work for some.
I did talk to Dave later, and he was like, have you talked to Jonathan yet? I said, yeah. He was worried that we weren't going to get invited back up to record the podcast. He's like, oh, now I really want you guys to come over.
Yeah, I see, and I see. But that's what I'm saying is like, for Dave, like, so my dad goes, man, what happened, And so I was telling him, and he's like, oh. He goes, well, now wait a minute. People, you have the reputation of, being pissed off, so people, when you approach people, they think that you're pissed off already.
Before you even get to them.
Right. I'm like, I know I've tried to make that really clear on the podcast because there's a lot of listeners. Like, if I'm pissed, I will come over and say, I'm fucking pissed.
Well, that's what I told Jonathan when I got here. I said, you know how I knew you weren't mad? Because he was lighting up a smoke. Right. I'm like, if he's not lighting up a smoke, then we're getting serious right now.
Yeah, because usually if I'm mad, I've lost about a bottle of water and spit during the altercation. But you know what I'm saying? So, like, I'm glad that Dave, because I really thought that he was, like, super big mad at me. Like, I like them guys.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I just thought it was funny. And Cody's like, man, I don't know, bud.
I think heat of the moment for one. And plus, that was the first warm race we've had all year, like temperature-wise. You know what I mean? So you guys got out of the car and you were actually probably warm, like yourselves. So.
Oh, yeah. And it is what it is. I thought it was great.
It was a great race. It really
awesome.
was. From my perspective, I'm sure you probably saw it through your lens.
Wait a
quite
minute,
few
Bruce.
times.
And it made for good pictures in the
I was
lane.
going to say.
I was just going to say, how many of those
thinking
pictures?
about this because, yes, like I handed Dave the flag and he was still fired up, but he didn't even have a hold of the flag correctly. Like he was just so wound up.
And you know what, Dave? I've had those ass chewings, and I appreciate and love the fact that he said, I can get just as mad as you can. And because I've had those ass chewings, I can shoulder them.
You know what else that tells
me? And I respect that. But back to it, when the racer quits worrying and getting upset about what happens on the racetrack, our sport's in trouble.
That's what I was just going to say. Dave's not done.
Right.
If he's still got that fire, he ain't done.
Right.
So he's got some time in him left, which is great. That's what I want.
Absolutely.
I want them guys racing till they can't walk, but like for a long time.
Right.
Like I want to enjoy it.
Right.
So.
A feature 2, another Smith. Devin Smith wins that one. Scott Olson goes second.
I thought Scotty was going to get one.
I know.
I really did. He was running really good.
Hey, so a little story on the second A feature. Jimmy Gustin takes a picture with Devin Smith holding the checkered flag. Do you guys know why?
After last week?
Yeah. So Devin, I heard through the grapevine that Devin made the comment, don't worry, I'll put my turn signal on this week. And Jimmy's like, oh, yeah, really? So then Jim's like, he goes, yeah, I just went and grabbed the flag, so I go get a picture with
He
him.
did. He's like, give me that.
So funny.
So Devin wins. Scott goes second. Jeff Mueller third. Kyle Everett's fourth. Jimmy Gustin fifth. in that one. So that's both the stock cars. We've got hobby stocks for makeup features left. Eric Knudsen had a solid night.
I'd say is he a Smith? Like, is he related to the Smiths by chance?
I don't know. He was fast.
He was real fast.
So wins A feature 1. Wayne Gifford goes second. Dragon goes third. Seth Butler fourth. In the Jack Hodenshield Pennzoil 22.
I was gonna ask.
Joe Wallenhop round top 5. No, it was awesome. When I saw his car, I'm like, that's badass.
Yeah,
he's like, I just had yellow paint, so I painted it yellow.
It stands out.
And Jack was like, just put this. Yeah. I'm like, oh, it's great.
That's good.
So I did. I sent the picture to Kendall and to Sheldon. I'm like, look at this rascal.
Nice.
Hobby stock feature 2. Alex Yorger got his first ever win.
Career win. Yep.
Aaron Rudolph goes second.
Jeez.
I was like, what happened?
Sorry.
Thought the cough box reverberated.
Broke. Anyway, okay, so Yorger wins. Aaron Rudolph goes second. Matt McDonald third. Mitchell McNeil fourth. And Makinator got fifth.
I was going to say, so don't skip out of there just yet because we got Sport Mod 2 that we didn't get.
Oh.
I don't think we covered that. But Alex, so I did find out they say their last name Jaeger. Easy to remember.
Oh, right.
Just like the Jaeger bomb.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Nice kid. We are on a roll.
What
with
is
this.
happening over
Is Dave Brooklander in here right now?
I don't know why it's.
Yep.
Well,
He's trying to watch the video, I think. But
Sport Mod 2 then, right?
yes, yeah.
Sacco wins.
Yep.
Again. Joe Reitz goes second. Willie Kirk third. Rainey Havlick fourth. Josiah Taylor plus 13.
Yeah, Josiah. He had a good race.
Yeah.
That would have been our not our first. Sorry, mods were first, but
And then
that was the makeup night, right?
Yep. Now I'm back to the other page. That's what I got on my computer. So
Nice.
run both. Clark's using my internet on my. I can't hook it up here because he's
got
the
her.
iPad over
He's
there.
got her going.
Okay. So that kicks off the Corn Belt Clash.
Mm-hmm.
Mod Light. 40 of those guys, which was really cool to have those guys come to town. That Corn Belt deal, I mean, it's always right around that 40 mark, it seems like. High 30s.
Yep.
Got to 40. John Padilla and Brian Ziem and Josh May. Well, and even Austin Gray, yeah. So I'm looking at the top 4 right now. Austin Gray passed 12 cars to get to 4th, but at the end, I mean, you could have thrown a blanket over the top 4 of them.
Yep.
And Ziem, every time he would get a run on Padilla, the car would start to hop through the middle at 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And so he'd get going, and then the thing's just like
so
yeah.
There's something I wanted to talk about, and I wanted to talk about with Jonathan on this, on the Mod Lights specifically, because we saw Jason Toppenberg bike up and go flying off turn 1. And I've been seeing Mod Lights do that a lot this year. It's like they're on the right rear so much if they hit that cushion and it's grabby, it just sends them up every time. And we've seen Colby Overemp, we've seen a bunch of guys do it this year. And
yeah, because Colby he's probably another Moffitt's Mayhem nomination.
Getting to be familiar with that list. But I just wonder on the Mod Lights, and I know every single race car drives different and all that, but like we were talking about straddling that cushion, if you were able to hit it with your left rear versus your right rear, if that would help those Mod Light guys, not bike up.
I don't think so because their wheelbase is so small.
Because it's a tight window for them to hit.
I mean, they're such a small car, and they're going so fast. Like, that's what I was pumped up to see on the radar gun was how fast the Mod Light guys were going, honestly, because they're faster than the modifieds. So I honestly think, like, I'm going to give Chase Alves some shit on this and be like, it's the shock rule. Because he always bitched about the 4.5-inch shock rule with the stock cars. And then Damon Murdy this year, first night at Stewart, no shock rule and flips that thing over.
Yeah, hardcore.
So shout out to you, Chase. I just had to give you a little bit of shit because you always comment on that. But the Mod Light guys, they're on a coilover shock spring setup. So it's a lot different than a conventional spring and shock setup. So I don't really know, but the stuff that I have done on those cars, they are so rigid. Like, they have got so many bars and so many things in there going on. Well, the ones that I have worked on, I don't know about all the other ones or, everybody else's, but the ones that I have worked on. So when they take a tumble, they're actually they hold up pretty frickin' well. I mean, unless it's like detrimental.
Sure.
But
is it just that they're going so soft, like trying to find that line to soften it to the point where it does do that and then back off a little?
All the guys tell me that you can't turn right in those cars or they'll just,
Really?
I don't know if that's just because the wheelbase and how so locked down they are to the track, but I mean, like, if you guys watch them things, like, they're hauling ass.
Oh, yeah, they're moving. Yeah. For sure.
So, and they're small, so, like, when they roll, they almost gain some speed sometimes.
It's like watching a wingless midget.
Yeah,
deal.
yeah, literally, that's a perfect way to put it. Yeah. That'd be maybe we need to get a Mod Light guy on here and ask him, like, Colby might, if he rolls like 3 or 4 more times, he's going to hold the record. He's going to hold the record on the rollovers here.
Yeah. I was just curious because it does make you wonder. Like, you do see that. It seems like you're seeing it more now. And usually from my seat, I've got a monitor next to me when they show the replay when a guy does it, and you can watch them when they're in the corner, and them things are really sitting over on that right rear.
Well, we could solve that problem. I got a solution to solve that problem.
What's that?
We change the order of events. Don't give them a racetrack that's got all that grip in it.
Put them on a slick track?
Put them on a slick track and to where that cushion might be blown off by like the modifieds or something, or get them out there on a slicker racetrack on something that doesn't have as much grip and isn't as fast. And they're not going to tell the difference in the car as far as speed. We all know that when the racetrack gets slicker, we slow down. But maybe there's so much grip out there that it's causing that to happen a little bit. Now, don't get me wrong. Guys could free their cars up to make it to where they're not as stuck to the racetrack.
Right.
But
won't be as fast.
It'd be kind of cool to see them like 5th in the show instead of 1st.
Don't ask Austin Gray that.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Or Brian Zine.
They like the fresh farm.
Yeah. Oh, it's because they like to be home before everyone else.
I like to get home. Yeah.
Oh, well. They go home, drop the trailer off, and then go meet J.D. Myers at the bar somewhere. And have a few toddies and then go back. Races are still on.
Their nights are longer than ours.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, correct. Correct.
You're not wrong about that. Yeah.
Yeah, Padilla was fast.
He was fast, John, but he is a good guy.
He is a good dude.
Yes. And, man,
usually with a pretty good set of chops on the side.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I thought that BZ was going to drive around him on the outside, and then Padilla locked in.
Yep. He missed his mark a time or two, and BZ got right there, and then it was over.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like
he was just a foot short.
Yes, yeah. He's crossing that right foot over. We still got to get that camera mounted in that car. We have goals.
Yeah. Sport Mod feature number 1, Jake Sacco.
Weird.
Another win. Mike Smith gets 2nd. Dusty Maslini 3rd. Randy Havlick 4th. So I think Randy had a good day.
He did have a good day.
Chris Frisbee goes 5. But yeah, Jake,
He'll figure that Sport Mod out one of these days.
Yeah, he's gonna.
I heard he's eyeballing not number 3 for Super Nationals. He's just gonna eyeball for 4 right now.
He ain't doing shit.
I don't know why I said that.
I already told him as soon as Matt went down to Corning this weekend, did a little test on our airflow system on the big half mile. Didn't work out that great. Worked good in the heat race, but had a malfunction failure.
So we're still in the testing phase.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I have a feeling we'll probably be testing this probably up until I think we might try to debut it at Super Nationals.
Okay. All right.
It'll be a good time. It might be a good way to promote it and sell it.
There's a lot of B mains at Super Nationals.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's when it works really good.
That's the best.
Gives you the max flow, usually about.
Bruce, I don't know what they'd do if we were ever serious on this show. It's like, people take everything serious. Look out.
Yeah, right.
A feature 2, Topless Joe gets it done.
First time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he was pretty pumped, and he's like, did I just win that race? I'm like, yeah, looks like it.
Well,
I'm like, dude, you about ate the concrete several times.
yeah.
Just slow down. You're fine.
well, but he's been planting at like 12 mile an hour with the high-speed planter. He needed to go fast.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, right.
It's a little bit of a speed transition for him. I seen him come over, and he had a rod going. And I love his mustache and shit. You know, he's like, hey, Joe. I'm like, geez, Joe, where you been? He's like, well, but I knew where he was, you know, planting and stuff. And that's why I brought up the whole fact I'm pissed about the interviews. We have a first-time winner that moves up like you're supposed to from a hobby to a sport, or moves up a class, you know, and he goes out and runs a hell of a race. First time since he'd wrecked the car, he told me that the boys had it fixed up right away, but work and planting and that fun stuff. And then he goes out and backs it up and picks up his first win, and we don't even get to see the excitement, which I understand. But that's what makes it tough.
We didn't get out of there till 1 o'clock, so.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I think, in my opinion, if this happens again, I think you guys should honestly say, like, especially because we make the announcement at the racetrack. All right, everybody, double features next week. At that point,
Starting.
hey, we are going to hot lap at 4:30. Everybody, in my opinion, like, I think you guys can relate to this too, wrestling tournaments. If you know you're going to a wrestling tournament, you're there an hour early.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if it's a good distance away. So all these racers, like, it's Memorial Day weekend, like nobody really has anything going on other than just racing, and like, because holy shit, we come to the racetrack and there was a pile of people there. They were grilling, they got the dogs and the burgers on or whatever they were cooking. They're already there.
Yeah.
Like at 5 o'clock, like in my opinion, we should have been features on the racetrack racing, not opening ceremonies. And I was going to ask you guys about that. By the way, love the national anthem. Two gals the last 2 weeks have sang that.
Same girl.
Same girl.
Laney Breeden.
Laney Breeden. Thank you very much.
Great job.
Awesome job.
She's doing real good.
And it's like one of them times where, you know, I feel like when you hear it from somebody, it always gives you the
little extra.
Yeah. All right, let's go racing. You
It's
know when
weird.
it's done.
Even me, like, even if they're off a little, it's just like, it's real, it's there, it's
They're
live,
human.
it's right, exactly.
The trumpet guy fucked that song up many times before it was the perfect one that everybody played. Okay, I mean,
But when they nail it, and she has the last 2 weeks, boy,
Yes.
it gives you the goosies.
it does. And Dave Brooklander's, like I said, my favorite thing is good, hard, fast, clean racing. That's my favorite part of it the whole time. You know.
Oh yeah.
So. Awesome job on whoever found her, or if she, whatever she did. Thank you.
She reached out.
Thank you.
She did.
Continue for the rest of the year,
Yes.
please.
I did tell her when she left that anytime she comes, she's welcome to sing. So,
Yeah.
and she said she'd let me know.
Yeah. I mean, you should just show up and sing and then leave.
And then go
if you
do
have
whatever
to.
you gotta do.
Yeah, I mean, we're just saying.
Yeah. No, she did get
Or,
it. So.
or like, if there's anybody else out there that listens to the podcast, right? Like, is there auditions open?
We got
like,
some
if she
singers.
can't make it, or
Yeah,
you know,
we can, whoever.
All we have been requested to do is have some kind of like a video of them singing, just so. And I'm not saying this in a bad way. You know what I'm talking about. You don't want to end up
You
with
don't
the
want
Rose.
somebody to pile it up.
We don't want a Roseanne Barr jumping up into Jerry's booth because
right?
we don't want that.
Right. Okay.
You
that's
know
fair.
what I'm saying.
Right. So it doesn't have to specifically be a video of just how about a soundtrack?
That could work too.
Right, or something
Just
that where you can hear it.
Something where we can hear you singing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, if there's somebody out there that wants to sing, I mean, yes.
Yeah.
You know, is it Princess Emily? Emily comes and sings, I think, at the at the
Oh yeah,
Super Nationals.
Yep.
Dude, she does such a good job.
Right.
And Yeah, I love that stuff. I mean, and I grew up, Jonathan's going to call me all kinds of stuff here. I grew up doing choir and band and stuff in school. And
We know. We can tell by the glasses.
I know. And but it is when you hear somebody either playing an instrument or, like we have a guy do the guitar at Super Nationals. He's done there a couple times.
Yeah.
It's always just a little extra for me, and that's cool. Like I love
cool.
that stuff. So,
It is
or is
cool.
it Salute to Vets? There was somewhere.
I think it was Salute to Vets last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, that stuff's really neat. So
Modified features. T-Fits. Trevor gets it done. Owen Barnhill goes second. Griffin Taylor third. Braden Claiborne fourth. Jake McBurney fifth. So put this in perspective. Winner, Camarillo, California. Second place, Milton, Florida. Third place, Kannapolis, North Carolina. Fourth place, Santa Maria, California.
a little bit of a spread there.
Now, granted, because we ran into this at Stewart last night. We did the furthest toe. A lot of these guys are like, well, you shouldn't give it to the guy that's – I'm like, we know Owen is living here.
Right.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
But that says a lot about what them guys are trying to do out here.
Oh, yeah, for
like,
sure.
Great job, guys. Like, because this state is the toughest state to race in. It's not a jab on any other state.
No,
Just
screw
saying,
it
cars
is.
per capita in this area
Yeah.
to come out here, and all them guys have been I mean, it's a nut kicker when you first come out here because it's tough to win a race.
Yep.
So great job to those drivers.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, that's what I would love to do, sit down with those guys. And, I mean, how many of the transplants, you got Laney and you got,
Right.
like, all these dudes that if you just step back and took stock of, like,
If we could go back
Who
10
all-
years
who all moved out here, it'd be quite a few.
pull Ricky, Ethan,
Right.
like all those guys together in a room and just talk.
Right.
Like it would probably blow your mind. And then there's other ones. I mean, there's other ones that are just trying. You know, you got Duregan in a hobby stock. Him and his mom are out here for the summer. Like,
Right.
and that kid's not a slouch. Like he's been
Right.
running pretty hard. And
Yeah.
it's cool to see. Like, it's cool to see that. And of course, I'm a hobby homer. You all know that. But like, they're on an open trailer. They got the back of their truck full of parts, and they're staying with Chaz, and I think they're staying with Chaz Baca. I'm pretty sure they
Yeah,
are.
they are staying with Chaz Baca from
So-
what I've seen on the vids.
Yeah. So like, it's just they're like here.
Well, there's another one, Chaz.
Yeah, Chaz is another one, right?
yeah.
I mean,
Right.
it's pretty wild. So it's cool to see, and yeah, I think that would be a neat thing to do. Maybe this summer sometime we could throw them all together in a room.
All right, I'm going to get through the rest of these results because we're almost at an hour already.
We've done pretty good, haven't we?
Seriously?
Yeah, 49.
Stock car feature 1, Doug Smith picks up the win. David Smith goes second. Mackay Heideball third. Austin Miners fourth. Tyler Pickett in fifth for that one. The second feature, Devin Smith wins. Yeah, you're right. I think every single stock car Smith won a race.
They did, but I already looked.
Yeah. Devin Smith, Cody Gustoff, Parker Schlegel, Jimmy Gustin, and Blake Lehman, top 5. Bobcat goes 6.
Gustav and Slagle, it's good runs for them.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and Parker, I think he is.
Guys, that second feature, like Jimmy and I were talking, it's like it was 3-4 wide for like the first 8, almost 10 laps.
Yeah, it was a banger.
It's like, what do you do? What do you do?
Hammer down and hang on.
Yeah,
Right.
literally.
Just rip it. 56 hobby stocks checked in.
Jeez.
A feature 1, Justin Frederick gets a win. Corey Vanderwilt goes second. Daniel Davis was third. Good run for him. I was pulling for him. Wayne Gifford fourth. Nathan DeRagan goes 5 in that one.
That was a good race, too.
The second one was Eric Knudsen again. So, like I said, he had a great day.
Yeah.
Picked up both of the wins. Alex Yeager goes second. Joe Wallenhop third. Tanner Jones fourth. Plus 10 for Tanner Jones. Matt McDonald goes 5. So,
Good night of racing. If you wanted to see some laps, you had every opportunity.
Yes.
So,
for sure. A lot of racing, and yeah.
need to get you a cough button, don't we?
Yeah, I'm not feeling good, man.
Cody's, we don't know what he's got. It better not be the hantavirus because I don't need that.
Yeah. Wasn't good.
No.
Wasn't good. That's what Haley thought I was having a heart attack this morning. So
that's not the way.
Turns out I wasn't, so that's good.
That's good.
Just don't feel great. Okay. Well, let's go to a break here, and then when we come back, we'll start talking to Bruce, and then yeah, all of our other stuff. We don't have an unboxing today that I've seen.
We do not. Nope.
So
we have a pretty cool question of the week that literally popped off my head because I'm like, hey, we're meeting with Bruce. I should ask something about pictures.
Right. Right.
So that was cool.
Cool. When we come back, we'll talk to Bruce Badgley from Motorsports Photography. Stay tuned. You are watching Watermelons and Woodchips. We'll be right back.
Central Iowa Diesel Performance is a full-service preventative maintenance and truck repair center in Ames, Iowa. While they specialize in high-performance applications, they can do fleet repair, engine maintenance, transmission repair, or things such as brakes and electrical. Anything diesel truck related, Central Iowa Diesel Performance is your go-to shop. Check them out at www.centraliowadieselperformance.com.
At Moffitt's Ford, it's not just about selling cars. It's about taking care of our neighbors. For generations, families have trusted us for reliable vehicles, honest pricing, and service that feels like home. Whether it's a dependable F-150, a safe and spacious Explorer, or your next pre-owned vehicle, we're here to help you find the right fit. And long after you drive off the lot, we're still here with expert service you can count on. Stop by and see us today. Moffitt's Ford, home of the million-mile warranty.
Welcome back, race fans. Watermelons and Woodchips presented by Central Iowa Diesel Performance. And got through all the results and a recap of, what was a long night.
It was a long night. Productive.
Yeah. Yep. But no, I want to get to our guests with Bruce. And, I get a chance to talk to Bruce every Saturday down in the infield, and we'll catch up on Kellen and Cooper's wrestling, or his granddaughter's wrestling, and her softball and all the things. But Bruce, it's cool that you decided to come on here with us, and we appreciate it.
Well, I'm glad to be here.
So, of everybody in the room, how long have you known Bruce?
Wait a minute. It should be, Bruce, how long have you known these guys?
Well,
All right.
I wanted to ask you guys to see what you remembered. Then I was going to ask him.
Well, since you two have been running around the racetrack, because my son even brought it up this last weekend about, running around the grandstands with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
So
Long time.
Been doing this a long time.
Yeah. I got to know you at Stewart because you guys used to set up a table and had the pictures and had the books, and I'd go up there and thumb through them, and I just thought it was the coolest thing in the world. I could spend $1 and get a picture of me out on a race, on the racetrack. And I remember thinking, you take a picture of me and I run at the back. Like I'm not up front. And it never really, I was like, well, they just take pictures of everybody. Didn't really think much of it, but there's a damn art to it. Like everything you're doing, you're catching a guy that's going through a corner at between 45 and 90 mile an hour sometimes, depending on what class they're in. And you're not just slinging the camera and taking it. Like there's a whole art to what you're doing.
Well, you gotta learn to pan. That's the big one, and don't stop when you shoot.
Yeah.
If you stop, you're usually going to get a little bit of a fuzzy shot. But no, it's been a lot of years, of doing this, and that was a lot of the enjoyment early on. Was the kids that would come up and buy a couple pictures every week, and then you'd have the drivers that were like come up and look, and it's like, you didn't get me last week. So you do try to take something of everybody every night.
Sure.
That way they've got something in there. And then, of course, you learn the guys that want multiple shots every week, and, you take care of that too. So.
I remember going to the souvenir stand and Grandma, always buying. There's a box at my Grandma Logue's with just Bruce's pictures in it. Basically,
all memories.
Yes, God, Bruce. I mean, when did you get started into racing? Is that all you started with, or did you go to college for this, or did you just pick it up, or how'd you get started?
I guess my love of photography came shortly after my dad probably had passed away, and I grabbed his camera, kind of one of the old Pentax K1000s, I believe, and that's where I started.
Whatever that means.
That's a brand of camera.
Okay,
it's what Dean Malone used up till I persuaded him to think about using one of my digital cameras. So I was good. We were taking pictures, go on a little trip or something. So I'd always have the camera with me. And then one day I decided to stick my finger in the shutter, see how things work. Well, it didn't work too well, and kind of broke it. And Mom ended up buying me another camera. But at that point in time, that's probably what kept me involved in things. Then in junior high, I found the darkroom in the school, and the instructor that kind of had the key just kind of let me have. That was my place. It was after my dad had passed, and so I'd spend hours every time I could have a free hour. I'd go in and I'd mess around. I'd take old negatives in and color negatives and print and do things like that. And I'd learn to develop my own film, and so that was fun. Then we lost everything we had at one point. I don't really know all the issues, but some money things and everything got auctioned off. Well, I had a good friend of mine that probably kept me in photography then. They listed my gear as part of the auction. He goes up and tells one of the guys that, hey, that's my buddy's camera. And he says, what camera? And hands him my bag.
Wow.
Who knows if I would have ever picked up another camera.
Sure.
Right.
So then it evolved into high school. I started helping out with some friends on a race car, and started chasing them and going around. I always took the camera with me. We'd go to Jefferson. We'd
Hazard County.
Go race Marshtown all the time, and once in a while at Boone. So they decided to promote races. I'm just graduated high school, 1983.
We were still going to parties with our dads then.
So
I was 5.
Everybody got invited to a group meeting, everybody that was ever around the race car, and it was like, well, here's what we're going to do, and we need some help. So instantly it was like, you can be the photographer. So, but you're going to take ticket money too. Sell tickets at the beginning of the night. So I'd sell tickets for an hour and a half or so, and then I go grab my camera and start taking pictures. Well, that's where I met Dean Malone. And boy, talk about a wealth of information. I learned more from that guy on how to work taking photos at a racetrack, what to do after the fact. It was a whole process, learning curve, and it was good. I mean, I truly enjoyed it, and so that was where, I got my start as a track photographer, was at Marshtown Speedway in 1983.
Wow. Who was the promoter then?
Barry Neese and Steve Prisky.
See?
Wow.
I don't know who those guys are.
I bet your dad does.
Right, but it was still ran by the
Still a fairboard
track.
Yeah. And they'd ran it from the fairboard and run their shows, and I believe it's still done that way today.
So you get your foot into Marshalltown.
Mm-hmm.
So you're 18 years old at this time. 19. Graduated 19.
Yeah.
When then did you decide, because this is what you do for a living, correct? Is take photos?
Oh no. I have 9 to 5.
9 to 5 too? Okay. See, I thought it was just a photo thing. So you do this plus go to your regular job and do all this stuff. explain like the negatives. You started talking about the negatives, like people
Oh,
that
boy.
don't know what, like,
So
when did that transition from that to what you do now?
probably about 2004, I believe. Before it was the negative thing, you know, so you'd go have your pictures developed and you'd have twin prints of everything. So usually we'd bring a set to the stands and then we'd have a set over in the pit area as well. Or I'd run around and actually pedal pictures, you know, go visit with everybody, which that changed a whole lot with the way it is done today. And they didn't have numbers or anything on the photos. Well, I learned real quick, you know, I had to develop a numbering system. So if somebody said I need another print of this or an 8x10, you had to be able to have them flip the picture over and tell you what to get.
Oh.
So we'd have little numbering parties after we get film developed and have pictures scattered because the ink wouldn't dry, and so they'd be scattered all over tables in the house, and we get them stuffed into books. Then, you know, it was a process. And everybody in the family really helped. You know, the kids helped, my wife helped, and, you know, and they've been very supportive all along as well. And of course they had, I guess, you know, they let me follow my dream because it turned into a lot more than one racetrack, and then again, still work a normal job as well. And I just I'm 33 years now at Mole Millworks, so
No kidding.
able to do that and manage this at the same time. It's been kind of a ride.
Yeah,
Wow.
I would say
That's
so.
crazy. How many tracks were you doing then? So you get into Marshtown. How long did it take you to get into Boone? Because you've been the number one photographer at Boone Speedway
For a long time.
my whole life.
So the next track that we got involved with, and that was because Barry and Steve decided to take on Webster City as well. So the crew at Webster City would come down to Marshalltown, and then our crew would all go up to Webster City the next night. And so we just kind of a tag team effort to make it all work. And so a lot of great people. You know, that's the other beauty of this is, you know, the amount of people you meet, the racers that you meet, you know, it becomes a big family. And so we did that for a few years, and then I had another promoter ask me about coming to Greenbelt Speedway, Al Urhammer. I think he'd taken over Webster City, and I kind of had left that, and maybe I went once in a while, but he hollered at me and said, "Hey, I need a photographer up in Eldora," and so we started doing that as well, and then I hate to say I maybe got my toes stepped on a little bit at Marshalltown at one point, and decided, okay, I needed to make a change, and so the fairgrounds became the track, and did that for several years. There was, you know, so many cars down there that, you know, Dean Malone also said, he says, I need somebody to help down here, you know, so he says, come on down. And but then we'd moved to the Des Moines area as well, so became a little bit of a distance to run back and forth to Marshalltown. But it wasn't too long, and I think IMCA was the one that brought it up or Hawkeye Racing News maybe even at the time. We did have a lot of papers back then, but said, hey, we really need somebody up at Marshalltown. So I said, okay, I'll go back up. Got another friend of ours to start shooting pictures, so I kind of gave him the little bit of the go-round of how we deal with the racetrack and what to do. Well, he come down and started shooting Des Moines for me, and we did Marshalltown. Well, we're 4 racetracks a week, you know. Then pretty soon I get asked to go to Stewart Speedway. So we did Stewart Speedway for a number of years, and with that, we at one point I had a discussion with Lottie and I believe Jeff was probably part of that as well, and another good friend of mine, Chuck, that worked at the track at the time, come together and said, hey, we're going to try something different with T-shirts, you know. So I started dragging T-shirts around as well, but they wanted me to go to Mason City as well.
Oh, boy.
Oh, gee.
So, needless to say, got Keith to do Marshalltown, and Keith come out to Stewart Speedway and finished, you know, did things out there for us, and we went to Mason City. So,
Jeez.
and I'm trying to think somewhere in that realm of things. We did come over to Boone, and in 1993 was where I started at Boone. Came over for Super Nationals. You know, I got the wind of this big race and says, you ought to come over here and see this thing. And, you know, kind of fell in love with that.
Yeah.
I mean, it just is something else to see that track and transform. You know, it's not Boone Speedway anymore when it's, you know, Super Nationals. It's Super Nationals. And, so, again, we're up to 5 racetracks a week. Needless to say, numbering all those photos.
Right. Holy moly.
You know, and so we did that for a number of years. I, you know, never had a weekend. I mean, every weekend I had was spent at a racetrack.
Go back to work to relax?
Kind of, sort of. Yeah. Kind of, sort of.
Right.
So we did that, again, number of years, you know, that we were doing, you know, the 5, you know, and I think Lottie quit promoting it at Mason City, which then brought us to just the 4 tracks. And then I got thinking of that, you know, I'm doing a lot of work here, you know, for my other photographer. I said, why don't you just kind of go out on your own and you do everything, you know, you get all the benefits of it, you know. So he did that for a number of years, and we just got down to where we were just doing, you know, Marshalltown and Boone. But as time goes on, you know, things change. You know, like I said, 2004, I believe, is when I used to get a digital camera for half the weekend, and I think I was still going to Stewart at that time too a little bit, and I get a digital camera to play with for half the weekend, and not half of it was on film, half of it was on digital, and kind of started liking the aspect of being my own processor, basically, and learning that curve, and not having somebody else do all my work for me. And so that was neat. You know, I mean, it was a big change. It was a big change of how we did things at the racetrack as well. My wife was always saying, she's just, we got to figure out how to do pictures, because she says kids will expect pictures the next week, you know. And it's like, yeah, we'll go to contact sheets, and the kids will figure us out. You know, they'll know they can come pick up their pictures, and they can pick out something else for the following week. And it really did work well. So we did that again. You know, that went well for quite a few years, but digital's changed things a lot. You know, I mean, you all can attest to that. I mean, just and videos coming into play, where somebody will do some video and put that out there as well. And but it's been a fun ride. Really has been a fun ride. I, like I say, seen a lot of people win first features. You know, and that excitement and the joy. You know, like you talked about that earlier about not getting interviewed. You know, that's a big deal for a first timer. You're getting interviewed, you're getting your picture taken. You know,
right.
And you know, I tell everybody you're going to follow that up pretty quick with another one. You know, and it generally happens.
Well, and you're the sticker guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We talk about the stickers, and like, there for a couple of years, the stickers were kind of shitty, and we wash our cars a lot. And so I'm always hounding Bruce. I'm like, hey, bud, you think nope. I only get so many stickers, you know, and he's got this little, like, it's like a little holster or whatever. I think it's for one of his camera batteries or whatever, but that's where they're at.
Yep.
And I was always thinking, I'm like,
you'd sneak up and get them, weren't you?
yeah, well, yeah. Like, I'm like thinking, you know, Bruce, you are busy a lot of the time. Like, I could just, you know, pull the old Tyler Pickett on you and pickpocket you real quick, you know.
They made a mistake and missed a process of a lamination, you know, on those. And, you know, because that was one of the first times when guys were talking about them getting just coming right off, you know, it's just falling apart. But there again, you know, the stickers are limited, you know, so, you know, but that is, you know, and as soon as they started doing that sticker, I kind of mentioned, and I don't even remember who we talked, you know, at the track. And I said, hey, you know, I ought to be the one to have the feature win stickers. You know, you guys can do the heat race win stickers, but give me those, and I'll hand them to them. That way I'll take care of it right there, you know, because and there again, the guys learn to expect it.
Yep.
You know, they know they're getting a sticker as soon as, and a lot of times you'll see them. wipe off the top of the
yeah.
car
Now.
and they'll put that sticker right on the car.
Damn
And-
right. That
Don't wanna
sticker,
lose
that
it.
sticker, that sticker
And I
means
think-
more than the 400. I'm just telling you.
Right.
And I think part of that led from, for years, Hawkeye Racing News had stickers as well. And that was well before AMCA came out with their feature win sticker. So, the guys would get 2. And they were already used to me giving a sticker out for a win. Well, now I was able to give out the AMCA sticker as well. So,
Yeah.
And there are some guys that do not change hoods, or not hoods, but the
Roof.
top, the roof, or the deck lid, inside.
The deck, I've seen a lot of the deck lid stock car, hobby stock guys with the same deck lid, and it's just coated with stickers.
Yeah.
Eric Knudsen, he's running out of space.
Right.
It's just full. You know, and then even this last weekend, I go to hand a sticker, and gosh, for the life of me, I can't remember who it was, but he says, "Go ahead and put that on."
Oh, he wanted you to put it on.
Yeah, that's one of the first times I'd gotten to do that.
That's cool.
That was pretty neat.
That is cool.
I got to decide where it was going to go on top of the roof, and
Right.
Well, Jonathan talks about how many 1 in 7 ever win a feature,
1 in 7. 1 in every 7 drivers wins a feature.
and then 1 in every 20.
20 wins a championship.
But that's a special moment. I mean,
it is.
I think about, you've had a lot of wins.
Yep.
I had 7. Like I remember each one of them.
Right.
I remember the whole process. I remember getting to see Bill and take the pictures and you get the sticker and the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't do interviews then.
Correct.
Like they did not, just didn't. And it was just something, to go through the process. Because to me, the excitement was, okay, we're going back to the pit. We're going to have a couple beers. Then we're going to the front stretch.
Yep.
And I get to see Bruce. Like, it was a whole thing. And the excitement didn't end until we left.
Right.
And I hate that sometimes that weather sucks. It just sucks. And then you see, and we're up against 8 hours of racing, and we got to cut stuff. So
And there you go. You no different than Saturday night. If you were to stop and do the interview, do the victory lane, and maybe get a lap or two with the cars before we're done there. Well, now times how many features did we have?
a lot.
Right.
Now what time are we getting out of there?
Yeah.
Oh, it adds an hour or better to the
Probably.
show.
So it would have
probably,
been
right?
well after 2 o'clock before we would have
Yep.
left the
Yep.
track that night.
Maybe an
And I was barely
idea.
awake anyway.
Right. But maybe an idea for if this happens in the future, like usually the caution is long enough to, but your guys' camera is just stationary up on top, right?
Yeah, we only got one for the regular season, so it's a
Well, maybe
Zoom
Black
in,
Dirt
yeah.
Entertainment might just have to get their rig out there and.
victory lane.
Well, I'm just saying, like, in a situation like that, because like Bruce said, it just really sucks that we didn't get to hear Joe talk about. Well, I mean, man, because I don't know who it was, but who was pressuring him.
Yeah, who runs second in that? Because I thought they were going to run him down.
Yeah,
couple times.
I'm just
Willie Kirk.
Willie Kirk, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they got into lap traffic, and
Yep.
it's like,
And Willie's good.
Willie is good, and so I understand the circumstance. I'm not chalking shit. I'm just
it
saying
sucks.
it's just like, man, I really
100%.
because I remember my first one, and it was like, it was like a 20-minute interview because I was pumped up. And I had to thank all the sponsors, and I thanked the grasshoppers and the rabbits and all the shit at the Speedway that night and everything. But, just maybe it's a thing where it's like, he's already down there, they're going to be in the tech area. Like, just go over there and give him a quick one, or maybe in a situation where it is the first-time winner, maybe you just do that and have a Johnny on the spot because we've got it here available, but.
So you said 2004 you switched to digital. That actually reminded me of something. You said your buddy Chuck. Are you talking Chuck Stowe?
Chuck Stowe.
So I called
The
Bruce.
Road Show.
I called Bruce in probably midsummer 2004, and I said, "Hey, I'm doing something here October 1st. I'm getting married. How would you like to take some pictures?" And he said, "Yeah, absolutely." And I don't know, it was probably a month, maybe 3 weeks later. "Hey, we're going to be out of town, but my buddy Chuck takes some pretty good pictures." So Chuck Stowe, he was our wedding photographer for Bruce. So
Well, we did a number of weddings and things. I mean, there again, so away from the racing, pretty soon you start getting those questions asked. You always take pictures out here. We got a senior coming up. Can you do senior pictures? Well, I started getting involved in a little bit of that. A few weddings here and there. I hate to think how many different weddings I've done over the years. But so Chuck was my second shooter for most of, from the time he moved up this way. We became very good friends, and so second shooter, we do the weddings together, and I, there again, like you say, whatever happened, I wasn't going to be available, and obviously Chuck was, and very capable, and so
super nice guy.
And Chuck shoots down at Knoxville weekly. Been down there a number of years, but he's also worked at the Boone Speedway. Through his career, he's done a number of things in racing throughout. Started out and
talk about a guy that can tell a story.
Yes.
Yep.
Started out racing. Started out racing.
Yeah.
As well. So I mean,
Missouri, I think. Yeah.
Sedalia.
Yep. So he's done a number of things, but always been involved around racing. And
Yep.
Really a good friend too. So.
Yep. Got to see him a few times when I worked at the State Fair Speedway there, and he was always around, and then with the dirt trucks and all that. And he kind of showed me a few things on the receiver side of things because he would run them for them. And I was kind of starting to get involved in that at Stewart, and then also then at the fairgrounds. And yeah, Chuck's a good dude. And he, I can remember standing, we were getting ready to do the cake, and Angie looked at me and she goes, if you smash that in my face, we were getting annulled. Like, it wasn't going to happen. And Chuck was standing there with the camera, and he's like, don't do it. So I didn't, but yeah. Yep. What stands out? Now, are you a lot like me where somebody will come to me and go, oh man, how were the races last night? I have no idea. Like, you get to see everything, but you don't see everything.
If it wasn't for my race pass, I have, when I have to add a name to some of the pictures, for spelling or some of that, I don't have an old Hawkeye to go back to anymore. But there are a number of times, even later in the evening, somebody will say, well, who won this race? It's like, let me think a minute. Oh gosh. I can't remember right now. I mean, I think it's just you're so involved with what's going on that, right at that time, you just go blank. But, the races, gosh, what races we've had. I mean, there have been awesome racing at Boone, and that's part of why I just love that track. The racing at Super National is always awesome. Except for when it gets a little wet and we have to wait around for hours to do things.
Right.
But that track puts on some of the best racing around, and Marshalltown. I love Marshalltown as well. I mean, it's it's kind of where I got my start, and it's got a lot of good racing that happens there as well. Now, some of the other tracks once in a while, maybe not so much, but there again, every track has their key players, that come up through, or they decide to move up from one class into the next, which is always fun to see that happen as well. And I'm a guy that, I'd like to see a color scheme change a little bit off and on.
Yeah.
That way you can kind of start to tell the difference between the years. Because there's some that absolutely never change.
Yeah. Yep.
But as a photographer, I like to see some of that change.
Sure. Is there anything particular that you've shot over your career that just stands out, like the one picture or one finish or one something?
Oh, probably one of my favorite shots is the first cover I had gotten on a magazine.
Oh yeah.
And that was 4 or 5 cars coming out of turn 2.
Stacked up.
Oh,
yeah, hell yeah.
Back before the fence went up where you could shoot out of the beer garden. That used to be one of my favorite spots to shoot because it took a while to get where somebody was shooting next to the racetrack. One of the first times that I had done that was out off of turn 4, and somebody got on the headset that night and said, "You hang on, you guys got a guy standing up there in 4, And I don't remember who said it, but it's just Bruce. It's like, okay, I'm good.
Yep.
And then of course from that, people follow and kind of go to the same spots and do some of the same things. And the one thing I won't do is, you won't see me get on a knee down in the infield. I've always got a plan. I always have an out.
Don't plant yourself.
I've only ever been hit one time, and that was a car that went around the track slow and didn't think anything of it. I'm still shooting turn 2, and pretty soon I have the back, my leg taken out from me just a little bit. But the car didn't have any steering. He'd come in and right where I was standing and just grazed my calf. And
but calf ain't been right since either.
But that's the only time. Had another close one, and I'm gonna think it was Super Nationals sometime. It's back in the day when the racing through the infield was still happening.
I was just going to ask about that too.
And I had a stock car come off the track, and I had enough time to take one step over, and he never lifted. Never. And I brought it up a little bit later, a few months later, and oh, really? Yeah, I said, yeah, it was close. But and by the way, that rule was not made for me. That was not made for me.
That's what I wanted to ask you about, if you knew who it was made it for.
I was literally just going to say, and 2 weeks later, that's when the new rule came out.
One of our track workers, Wayne was his name, was standing on his four-wheeler down in 3 and 4. And somebody come in and got the four-wheeler and knocked him off. So at that point, that's when that rule was made, that you have to come to that complete stop. And, because it's not just a photographer. I mean, you've got track workers, and sometimes you've got other people down in the infield, and so racing's for the racetrack.
Yep.
Right. Correct. 100%. Well, I tell you what.
So it didn't bother me at all when that rule got made.
Right.
The swell that they have dug down in turn 2 there in the middle. I don't know if I know you guys haven't hit it, but I've hit that thing a couple times wide open. Not good. Okay.
Get your attention.
You're Baja and shit.
Yep.
So it's like, and so many people, they say that over the intercom during the driver's meeting. And people still get called for it all the time.
Yep.
Yes, they do.
They do.
It's heat of the moment, but also, too, your life's over. You run somebody over down there.
Right.
I mean, mentally, for you. You kill somebody down there.
Yeah.
Right? Not good.
You know how many times, though, I've seen a guy go through the light poles, stop, take off. It's almost inevitable. They'll either get a caution or eventually, something comes back. Karma. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're like, they followed the rules, they go out. And sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes they lose a lap, and it is what it is. But much rather see everybody be able to go home at the end of the night.
Yeah.
Right.
So back in the day, here's another one. Channel 5 used to come up and do a weekly show.
Iowa Racing Report.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they were Boone quite often, and so I made clips there a time or two.
Really?
That's great.
But it was also back in a time when our gear wasn't the best. I mean, you had shorter lenses, and you literally, I'd stand 5 to 10 feet off the racetrack. So, I'd have my poles. I knew where my pole was that I could get behind if I needed to. So that leads into somebody got into the infield and started spinning around, and it was, watch out, Bruce. And it was funny, but it was close at the same time, But yeah, it was. But there again, today we have lenses that and the digital equipment is so much better. I can shoot from the center of the track and still really capture stuff, on the track, and make it work for me. Now, do I do that? No, I still have my spots. But I try to mix up where those spots are as well, so I don't have the same thing all the time.
Hey, bud, you're watching us. We're watching you.
And
I know where you're at.
I've heard that before. And not speaking of that, somebody will come and say, I know you got a shot of me last week. I saw the flash.
Yep. I remember that. I remembered at Stewart going through 1 and 2, and I saw the flash. I'm like, I got to buy that picture.
But
you should be paying attention to where you're driving. No wonder we're wrecking shit.
But if you ever talk to a
he was
driver,
just there to claim somebody anyway.
That's right.
they hardly ever know that flash even was there. You know, everybody always says, "Don't you blind the guys?" It's like, no.
Right.
I said they're so focused on what they're doing on the racetrack that they're not going to see it.
Yep.
They may see a flash,
Right.
but it doesn't bother them. And of course, some people will tell you that they start seeing all the flashes, they know somebody's coming up and catching them as well.
True.
You know, you start, bang, bang, bang. You got 4 or 5 guys maybe shooting the same action. They know second place is right on them. Mm-hmm. So something's about to happen. So
one of my favorite stuff is like when you guys all go to capture the checkered flags at
Yes.
Super Nationals, and it like lights up.
Yeah.
There's so much flash
Yes.
from everyone that's in there that it's like somebody turned the light on over the flag stand. Like that's how bright it looks.
So here's a little known from my perspective. I'm typically neck deep in computer stuff and doing whatever, and I'll look up, and it's like instead of looking at the flag stand or up at the scoreboard to see how many laps are left, I'll look out, and if I see Bruce starting to walk, I'm like, we're getting close. I see a flash. He always does a flash on the white flag lap, and I think it's a test.
not all the time.
But that flash, I'm like, well, I got to pay attention because we're about done.
Yeah.
Like, it's just another little thing.
Now, what's the flash for? Why do you got to do that?
Stops action, and it lights up different parts of the race car. I like to see the driver.
Yeah.
I like to see in the wheel wells a little bit. Get that definition.
Wait, who are you selling information to with these wheel wells?
Especially the modified guys.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, come on, hold on here, Bruce. I know somebody's paid you for a picture or two.
But to me, can you shoot natural light all night long? Sure, you can. I don't like the grainy stuff. I'm still not up to that equipment that, loses a lot of that grainy look. That takes me back to my film days when 800 was the top you could go, but it was still a little bit grainy when you print. I like to put light on a car. I just, now I vary that once in a while. Sometimes I've got a lot of light that I dump, and then there's times where maybe I don't, so it doesn't carry through. But it's neat when somebody says, I want that picture, so I'm standing up there on the catwalk. That because they know right where they're standing, and they know they're in that shot with that particular race car.
Right. I like the light. Go ahead, Cody.
No, I was going to say there's more times, I think about this, more times than I, realize when I'll see you walk over, right, and they're coming out of 4 to get to the checkers, and it's like, oh, there's a lap car that you can't even see the car that
happened Saturday night.
I know, and that's why I brought it up because I was like, that happened on Saturday, and like I think about that, it's just got to be my ADD brain a part of that thing because it's like, for whatever reason, I get fixated on that. Like, how is this picture going to look? And did he pass the lap car?
Now, there is a time when the lap car is on the wall, and the winner comes in underneath, and it still makes it look like it was a heck of a finish.
Right.
10 years later, nobody knows how that really happened. But
I have a picture in my shop right now that Bruce took of my first Super Nationals qualifier win in Beaupartain. I'm on the outside, and the only thing you can see on, like, people come to my shop and they're like, why do you have a picture of the 70? Because it's just a white and blue 75.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, if you look a little bit closer, I'm about this much further ahead of that son, but you see the white or the red nose right there?
That's
like, but it's just like, those are the moments, in the raw emotion when I got out of the car and I'm like, or like the raw emotions that Dave Smith and I had this weekend.
True. There could be some of those pictures.
I think there was probably about 50 or 60 pictures snapped between the 4 photographers when that was going on, because we could see some shit going on in the background. Cody looked like I said, he was going to call the cops. So I seen some of those photos, and I'm like, oh, this is great.
So I've got another interesting photo that I shot, and it was one of the Watsons caught on fire, sitting up, got hit pretty hard. I'm not positive if he rolled or not, but I'm shooting that shot from down below, and I've got a heart. There's a few things that'll never happen, and if somebody gets hurt seriously, nobody's ever going to see them.
Yeah.
For a while, I'm shooting the flames and things, and the guy's putting the car out, putting that flame out, and I pretty soon realized that I haven't seen the bell and the helmet move. At that point, I know he's passed out. He's out, and I quit shooting. I could have continued, but at that point, I stopped. Mm-hmm. Guys come in, pulled him out of the car. And then things are okay. So then I'm okay then with that. And then it gets posted on somebody videotaped it and taped it and sent it into one of the stations, and they made it sound like it was a whole lot worse. Well, the flames look a whole lot worse from that angle than what I had, but I still had I personally, that's again one of my best shots because of all the flame and things, and that made a cover of Speedway Illustrated. So, the first one's always the big one there.
Sure.
But every time you can get one, that's a heck of a pat on the back.
How many covers have you made?
Oh, I've probably got 10 or 15 now.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
And
that's tough.
In somebody's book about IMC, it has a little bit about IMC. I've got some shots there, in that. And countless newspaper things, from a weekly newspaper that wants to do something on the racetrack, to the Hawkeye Racing News, Dirt Cheap Racing News, Mid-States Racing News. When that went away, the publication scenario, that just broke my heart. It was like, what are we going to do? We don't have anybody to shoot for anymore. Thank goodness we still have a couple magazines, that can be, that are publishing photos, where you can pick up something and actually look through.
Right.
Did I ever read everything? No.
No. Right.
But I'm always looking through to see, okay, what they use this week, and
Right.
And that's always a big pat on the back as well, that your stuff is worthy of getting into that publication, regardless of whether it's a paper or whether it's in the middle of the magazine, or you start looking at, is it a small print or is it 3/4 of a page, or something of that nature too.
Let's be for real. We talk about it all the time. There only was the Hawkeye newspaper there for a long time.
For a long time.
So when that was the first thing I did, is I'm not a great reader, but I'm a good picture looker. We go ahead and look at all the pictures right away.
So I'm just a young guy back in the day, and I knew about Hawkeye Race News. We were, I think at the time we were selling it in our stands.
Oh, yeah. I remember you guys did that, too.
And Keith Knack from my MCA was there one night, and I said something to Dean. I said, "You got your name in the credits for being a contributing photographer." I said, "Who do you suppose I need to talk to about that?" He says, "Keith's here tonight. Go talk to him." So I walked over and talked to Keith a little bit and said, "Hey, I've been track photographer here now for a couple of years." I said, "I'd like to see if I can't get my name in that contributing." I said, using my pictures every week. And he says, "You got a business card?" And by golly, it was in the next week, and I was in that as a contributing photographer until that paper stopped being published. Even through the change of ownership and after Keith had passed, and that makes you feel like you're really part of that team at that point.
Right.
You're one of the guys, and that was always a big pat on the back as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm saying. We all the write-ups and stuff, like Dan, he's always rolling around and taking a few shots and doing his deal, and to see that stuff in those magazines,
yes.
And even if you get chosen, and I don't any driver I think can relate to this. Even the photographers that are taking those in the action moments, it's just like,
Oh yeah.
you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
That's kind of like our trophy.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
It's our win for for
Absolutely.
an event too, and so yeah, it's pretty sweet.
I think everybody involved, whether you're working, racing, working on cars, whatever, there's a way for you to win in a night.
Yep.
And it's what we all keep going back for, you know?
Every once in a while I get asked if, do you ever want to drive? And it's like, no, not really.
Right.
My camera gear's expensive enough. I don't want to have to fund a race car too.
There's drivers right here, boys.
But
Yep.
I can say I actually got to do a race. We did a media race one time at Boone.
Really?
Yeah. So there was about 5 of us, I think, at the time that were out on the track at the same time in hobby stocks.
Okay.
Wow.
Couldn't tell you. I might have been in bow hunters. I'm not positive, but
Well, we're gonna have a 2-seater car at some point. So if you want to go for a
There you
ride,
go.
I'm your man.
Oh,
there you
man.
go. Okay,
Yeah.
put me on that list, because every time we've gone to a big race, and you got an opportunity, it's like, yeah, I'd love to do that.
Yes, I've talked to Kevin Opine, and Kevin Opine basically was like, hey, look, I've only got a couple of things to do this year with the 2-seater car. And I'm like, well, I mean, I do know these guys, but we got to run it through the company. What am I trying to say here?
Chain of command.
Chain of command.
Chain of commands.
There you go.
Told you guys I wasn't that great of a reader.
Great picture looker.
Great picture looker. Man, I mean, I'm just telling you.
I think we have the title of the show. I'm pretty sure that's what Garrett was messaging us about.
But, if we can get that deal to come to the
it'd
Boone
be-
Speedway and make
pretty
some
cool.
rips and rip some laps with just like, I think we do some random, you get Jimmy Gustin in there, you get Jake McBurney, you get myself, or even
you bet.
Jay Notaboom, or, Mikey Smith, any of the Smiths. They probably have a 2-seater car.
They probably have multiple 2-seater cars.
Sure.
Right, but I think that would really hype up, and of course, we got to do it to be able to cover the cost of the fuel and the stuff like that. Which, and of course, the racetrack's got to put a little bit in there to be able to cover. I'm sure there's some insurance thing. Maybe it's not. I don't know
I'd have to look
how
into
that would
it.
work.
I
You
don't
know what I mean? Like I know that they've done that a ton of places. Like they do it at Eldora. In a late model, and Kevin usually does it at the Casluth County Speedway. So I
Do
just
they
think
sell like raffle tickets?
I don't.
Or
I
how do they
think-
do that?
I think
it's-
that's how it's done most of the time.
Okay.
It's through a raffle.
Yeah, and I think it's like $50 or $25 or something, and then they take half of it goes to Kevin, and I think the other half they either donate it or it goes to the track.
I mean, you think about like a crowd like we had Saturday night. You get that opportunity, it could be pretty big. A couple chances, a couple times of going out and following farm sessions or whatever it would be.
Right, and
You know?
I think so too. And how they do it up there at Algona, that I've seen is he just kind of sacks back a little bit, and they take off. He makes 2 laps under green, and I mean, unless he's like really pulling and catching them, then he'll take an extra. Just because Kevin's feeling good about it.
Oh, and Jonathan's going to get an extra
yeah.
lap.
Oh, yeah. Extra lap.
If I start catching the field and it's close, I'm taking another one just so you guys are like, what's he doing?
I just can't wait for us to mount the camera in there so we can see the action
That
and see the person's reaction while
Yeah.
they're in there. That's
Like,
going to be
when
awesome.
Stuart-
Some of those are pretty fun.
Oh, yeah,
right.
definitely.
And especially when you like last night, I kind of housed the front stretch wall at Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you're like,
There is
You know?
something about, and you probably know what this feeling's like, is when you scrape it, when you jimmy it. You don't hurt your car, you don't do anything to your momentum or whatever, but when you do that and you're going through the corner, you're like, yeah, I just sent some sparks.
right, I'm not going to do that again this next time.
No.
I also one time, I don't know whether I just it said something. It'd be nice to try this out. And Cliff Barber, he goes, "Go ahead and get in it."
Oh boy.
So I got to do hot laps a couple times in the old 4-car.
Really?
In his old dwarf car?
Yep.
Jeez.
Yes.
That's back in the dwarf car
Yeah.
days. So that does date it a little bit, but
I'll bet that was fun.
did that out at Stewart. I did it 2 different times.
I bet that was fun.
It was fun.
I guarantee you somebody in the crowd went, man, Cliff looks slow tonight.
So the first time, most definitely. The second time, I was at least being able to follow some of the guys.
Okay.
I got a little bit more accustomed to it, but
That's cool.
But it was fun.
Hey, you got to wheel the 4-car. That thing was legendary.
That was a rocket back in the day.
Yes, it was.
Yep.
Well, I don't want to talk about this, but you came up to the VIP window a couple weeks ago and gave me some news.
I did.
Are we making an official announcement?
Well, hey.
I guess.
I mean,
Oh, boy. Shit.
guys, I didn't want to hear this. Like, it just makes me sad a little bit, in a way.
Yeah.
But I'm also happy for you because of what you're doing.
I've heard, from a number of people that I've told. I started off with just a couple, but it was like, keep it under wraps. I got to talk to a few people first. One was, IMCA, because of the fact that, I've been a part of the Super Nationals for a number of years now with the event photography.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, Boone Speedway, I needed to kind of put the word out there that things were slowing down. And, I'd done it a few years back at Marshalltown, decided it was time to get down to 1, have a little more family time. I've got 8 grandkids now.
Uh-huh.
So that's a big part of it.
And they're not babies. They're
Well,
Hold on. Wait a minute. What do you got going on? You haven't even said yet. So what are you,
Well,
are you giving it up?
I'm gonna give it up. I made a decision a few weeks back to hang up the camera for racing. I want to be able to attend more ball games, more of my grandson's soccer games and such, and of course the wrestling thing doesn't get to interfere because it's winter time. But I haven't had a vacation during the summer, for over 40 years.
Yeah.
You add it up. I mean, it's 43 years.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Could I probably continue on? Probably, but the body's kind of starting to tell me it's time.
Mm-hmm.
Get done on a long Saturday night like this last weekend. It takes a day to recoup. The back hurts. Of course, I carry the heavy stuff. I've got a battery pack that probably weighs 15 pounds. It sits on my hip, and the big dish on top. And to me that throws out the light a lot better than a normal speed light. And
Everybody listening up, these new photographers at the racetrack, he's giving out his secrets right here before he hangs up the lens. Okay?
But and another big reason is Super Nationals. I've been coming to Super Nationals since 1993. That has been part of my whole being for that long. I love it. It's one of those things that it's the mecca of dirt track racing. It doesn't get any better than Boone Speedway. It doesn't, and then, but I have a couple changes with 2 of my best help for the week. One being my daughter and my son-in-law. They weren't going to be able to attend this year, and there was one point I even got asked, why do you have so many people helping you doing this? And it's like, so I start listing it out, and pretty soon it's like, okay, I understand. That's fine.
Why don't you have more?
and because it's a lot of hours, I mean, when you start, 2:00 in the afternoon, and then you got to try to manage your hours, and then what time do you close at night, and and so there's a lot of work that goes into that for us, the way that I wanted to do it. Now, is there going to maybe be changes in how that's done? Maybe. I don't know. Not up to me to decide how that shakes out. But without those 2 family members helping us out for the week, that was one of my biggest ones. That was the first decision I made. I turned to Denise and I said, would it bother you if we maybe don't do Super Nationals this year? And her first response was no. And I've known her.
She's been waiting for you to probably say that for how many years?
I've been another year or two for probably between 5 and 10 years.
Wow.
I'm going to do this another year or two. And then it hit me right after we had decided that. Here I'm even feeling it now. Goosies and all. But I said, you know what? I think I'm just ready to be done. Instead of even taking it up to that point,
right,
and trying to call it quits at the end of the year, I said, boy, why don't we just do it right now, So I wanted to do at least one more Harris Clash.
Yeah. Yep.
So my wife had said, okay, let's make it the end of June. So that's what we.
Holy shit!
That's what we set our date.
Boy.
We set our date for the end of June. Track photographers are going to be left in good hands.
Can we? Who are we allowed
As far as I know, it's going to be Jane Bird. We had that discussion with her and asked her if she wanted me to name drop. I did so. I believe she's been called by one person anyway. That's kind of cement that. So it's time.
First of all, Bruce, congratulations.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
On making a decision like that for
it's
something.
Hard.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you've done it for 43 years, like you said, and to be able to, a lot of people respect Bruce and Denise and what you guys do and what kind of enjoyment you've brought to so many families with pictures and shots at the racetrack.
There's so many people, to thank type scenario. I've done a lot of that already. The promoters that have allowed me to come in and shoot, the organizations that I've shot for, it's branched out, to other things. I've done a number of go-kart, four-wheeler type, races as well over the years. Thanks to everybody that's ever allowed me to do what I do at a racetrack. Even gets back to the days when we were asked to, we were going to have an actual T-shirt trailer at one point, and that kind of fell through. And I think somebody found out what exactly it was going to cost. But so that didn't end there. Denise and I had that discussion. It's like, well, how can we make this happen? We had a minivan, also with all the kids, but it was, I probably had 5 big T-shirt boxes sitting in my living room that all said John Logue on them. Mm-hmm. He was our best seller back in the day.
I bet he was.
So all that T-shirt money that we wanted to keep a tiny bit of each shirt that we sold was gas money. That really got us back and forth to the racetrack without ever worrying.
Something's got to pay the bills.
But thanks to everybody that's ever been in, part of what we have done at the racetrack. Times have changed. It's not the same. Take all the photos out and display them. As things started slowing down, we got to the point where my wife even said, "I think it's time we close the shop up here in the grandstand." Or she'd only be open for an hour and a half, or something, and where it used to be busy the entire night.
Yeah.
Well, but social media has done that.
Yeah.
It's changed a whole lot, of what we do. I truly enjoy what I've done. I'm going to be kind of sad to hang it up.
What are you going to do? I'm trying to wrap my head around this, Bruce.
I got more than...
What are you going to do? I mean, are you going to grill a steak and rent the races and watch them, or like with the grandkids, or like, that's what I'm trying to wrap my head around when I get to your position. Like, because my attention span's not that long, okay? So, like, what are you going to do? I mean,
I'll still follow. I'll still make sure I keep up on who's win. I mean, I still look every weekend. I'm looking at Marshalltown.
Right.
Follow what's happening up there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I follow the bigger sanctioning body. Not bigger. IMCA is the biggest, really. But
late models,
that kind of NASCAR.
Stuff.
I like it all. I mean, any form of racing, I've fallen in love with it. So it'll always be part of it. But coming and shooting pictures every week, I'm tired. I'm done. You know, if I come back to Boone Speedway, it's going to be without a camera.
That's going to be so weird.
And it's going to, come up and just go have chats with people.
Yep.
You know, spend that time. Part of my plan, and it's going to be a huge undertaking. I did a little bit of it a while back when Dan from Speedway asked me to provide some old shots of Wayne Larson. Oh. I said, you realize I got to go back to negatives for that.
But Bruce secretly is like, I still have them, and I know where they are.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So I pull out the negatives and I start going through some of them, and it's like, okay, I'm going to digitize this one. I'm going to do this one. Well, I've got a system down where I know I can do it. It's just time consuming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, but I plan on digitizing my whole catalog.
That would
really?
be so
And I
awesome.
I want to go back and I want to be able to post some stuff from say 1983 at Marshalltown. Yes. Because it's not been out there for a number of years. It's just what is on people's walls or in their shoe boxes full of pictures.
All just in Bruce's basement, just chilling. So much history.
You know, so I've got a bunch of totes of negatives that I'll, be going through.
That's going to be awesome.
I mean, I budgeted back in the day because film, you had 24 exposure and 36, so you budgeted, so you kind of run out at Victory Lane, you know. Mm-hmm. Digital opened that up to, you need to have Overshooters Anonymous.
Right.
We kind of talk about that between a number of my friends that shoot racing, and it's like, how many shots do you shoot tonight? Well, I'm about 800 tonight. It's like, holy smokes, that's a little bit of time sitting and trying to go through them all. Mm-hmm. So, the work doesn't stop at the racetrack. It's like you have to go back and work on your stuff.
Yep.
The race cars, and you got to go home and put it all together and get it, which I still have to do this weekend. I still got to get some pictures to Josh and Cody, but there again, I really appreciate the opportunities I've had, the friendships I've made. They'll last a lifetime.
Yeah.
I
don't think you ever walk into a racetrack and there isn't somebody that it is like, hey, Bruce, what the hell's going on? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I've ever seen that.
I have people come up to me. Sometimes they'll say, hand me a $20 bill. It says, I forgot to pay you last year. And I said, really? I don't remember that, but well, thank you.
Thanks for remembering.
It's that kind of thing.
Goes right to the concession stand and gets a soda and a hot dog.
Or you just have somebody come up and ask, did you get a shot of this? Or, I need to get on and look, now,
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, it's been so fun.
So, okay, Jane, I'm gonna call you out here. These are some pretty big shoes to fill. And even though I always say we create our own shoes, but it's going to be a little weird not seeing the camper at the Super Nationals in the spot. Like,
it'll be at a campground somewhere now.
Right?
But you know what I mean? Like, congratulations on your career of doing this and how you're going to be able to shut it down just like
I
this.
know.
That's awesome.
But I think that's the way I need to do it.
It's awesome.
I'm going out on my own terms as well.
Right.
I'm not having somebody else tell me that you're not welcome here anymore.
Or you got to stop. Or,
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I've done everything that I think I could have ever done in this sport with my photography that I could ever do. I mean, and I get to go out on my own terms. Mm-hmm. I still have to work another few years yet before I can, say I'm totally retired, but it's coming too, in the next few years. So, but yeah, it's been fun.
Well, there's a tremendous amount of dedication that you've had, and that dedication led to that helmet right there.
Oh, yeah.
And I got to be there for that. It's something that Angie and I've done the last few years. That's
an awesome thing to attend.
It's incredible. And I think you got to come up to it sometime. Like, it's my first one was when Nona got inducted, and she just called us and invited us up. But to see, the group of people that come together for that is so cool. And then to see guys go up on the stage that you've known for so long and were a part of my short career, and you're long career, and all these different people.
Or some of the guys that are still coming to that banquet every year are some of the guys that I was shooting when I started.
Yes.
Sanger,
Yep.
That's the thing. If you have the opportunity, the Iowa Hall of Fame and Racing Museum, what a deal for that to finally have a home. It's, there is so much memorabilia. It changes out as well. I'm amazed. I mean, I've already told multiple people that, I've got to go back up and be able to sit down and just spend time. I had a conversation with Jimmy Gustin, and he brought up, I said, we got talking about it. He was talking about going up there and going through some of the albums and just sitting looking at pictures. And it's like, well, that's what I'm kind of starting to work on now is my portfolio that I want to put up there and present to them, for as far as like 8x10s and things like that somebody can come back and thumb through. But Dean Malone has his entire negative collection is up there. Not all of it. I mean, he did sell some off years ago, but a majority of his negative collection is there. He's got a lot of prints there as well.
Big collection.
I'm in possession of all of his 20x30 aerial shots from the Super Nationals.
Nice. That's cool.
So, because that part didn't go, they're going to go in my building. I'm going to line the walls with all of his prints.
Awesome.
We helped him out and sold some of those for him at Super Nationals because people did want that shot.
The only shots of, the aerial of that, the ones that I don't have are the ones that I won.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my dad, we buy them every year, but in 2014 and 2019 and 2020, we didn't buy them.
Didn't do it.
No.
Didn't do it.
Well,
sorry. I just thought about that. I'm like, gosh. Do you know?
But there
do you
again,
know, do you know a guy?
It's memories.
Do you know a guy?
Well, I think all the negatives probably up in the Hall of Fame, so I'd probably have to sweet talk them into letting them the negative get out to be able to scan
Marty
it
and my dad are pretty good buds.
I imagine
so that might be a chance.
There you go. There is a shot.
I know
There's
his filing system as well. So when we were up there and visited, Jerry Mackey was there and somebody else I can't recall, but they said something about the negatives, and I said, "Oh yeah," I said, "Here." I said, "It says do not get in here," but I pulled that drawer open and I pulled out a couple sleeves and I said, "That was shot in this year. This was his number of roll, and this was the image on that roll." How so it just makes it so much easier as long as you get them all slid back in where they belong. You can go back to it if somebody was to give you a number later in life. Well, I know I could go find his Super Nationals just by dates,
Right.
and figure that out, and get in there and know that it's Friday or Saturday night that he went up in the air and shot that photo,
No shit.
That's
It
cool.
wasn't until his last couple that I was giving him my digital camera. I said, shoot your negative shot, shoot on your camera, and then on your last pass over, I said, shoot a couple shots with this and we'll see what we get. Well, that encouraged him to go out and get a digital camera so he could take a lot of shots digitally, and then he figured out how to go get things printed as well. And but yeah, it's that museum is a place to go. It's a treasure that that we have it. The induction is something else as well. I mean, I was just floored when my wife had gotten a message from somebody else and kind of the comments about, here, you should do something right now too. And so she started a biography, and we started going through dates and the history, and it was like, wow, that's not always easy to figure out kind of the date scenario, but it's it's a lot of years, and it's a true privilege to be a part of the Hall of Fame, because not everybody's gonna get inducted. I mean, there are so many people I know that should be part of it that are not in there yet.
Yep.
And it's a matter of time, I think.
Yeah.
It truly is a matter of time, for somebody to get them inducted. So, but it's get there and visit. I mean, it's a cheap entry into the museum. Make a day of it, and go see it.
Definitely.
But yeah, that's the helmet. that was a scenario I never dreamed. After signing it up there, we had to sign 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
The maker of the helmet kept one, and the Hall of Fame has one, and then the third one is the one they auctioned off. Again, the auction money goes right back into the museum. My son starts bidding, and somebody else is bidding and running him up, and I'm like starting to tear up, and it's like, come on, it's just like, you're not going to be able to do this, and pretty soon I see his mom nod her head. So she had her hand in it as well, but they won the bid, and here I get to show it off now, and
That's pretty cool.
so it is cool. I will treasure it for my lifetime.
Yep, pretty cool class of people you went in with too.
How do you put it on?
One time.
Yeah. I knew you were going to say that. Just because, I would have gotten the car.
My head's not that big.
I would have gotten the car and rode with it on the way home. Hey, what's going on? You know what I mean?
We know.
We know.
Right,
I truly wish Denny Osborne would have been there to receive that honor.
Yeah.
The family accepted it, but there again, he's one of those guys that was there right when I started shooting. There's a number of people like that have were there when I began, and that's the neat thing too is seeing that history made, and it'll continue long after I'm gone. But,
Oh yeah, but you'll always be in it. It's very cool.
That's very cool.
So pretty neat deal.
Yep, definitely.
That's awesome. Are we going to take a break, or we just want to roll through?
We should probably hit a short break and then come right back.
At least give a spot for G to edit it in.
Yeah. I need
all right.
to smoke anyway.
Sounds good. Well, we'll take a break. When we get back, we'll wrap this thing up with Adobe Lounge Power Rankings, Elmquist and Question of the Week, and
Little mayhem.
Moffitt's Mayhem. Yep. So, all right. You are watching Watermelons and Woodchips. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Adobe Lounge located in Boone, Iowa at 915 West Mamie Eisenhower. Our hours are Monday to Friday, 1 p.m. to close, Saturday and Sunday, noon to close. Come enjoy some of the strongest drinks in town and the best homemade pizzas around. Whether you're stopping in to relax, meet friends, or grab a bite, the Adobe Lounge is the place to be. See you soon.
Attention local racers, the racing season is here. Is your rig ready for the haul to the speedway? Or are you fearing a DNF before you even reach the track? Keep your truck and trailer on the road and out of pit lane with Housby Truck Lube. From oil changes and greasing to full tire and RV service, we've got you covered. Right now, get your rig race ready and take 18% off truck and trailer services. Thanks to this special presented by KCP Racing. That's 18% off to keep your season on track. Plus, ask about our punch cards for even more savings. Call 515-266 8332 or visit HousbyTruckLube.com. Housby Truck Lube, a division of Custom Truck Services.
Welcome back, race fans. Watermelons and Woodchips presented by Central Iowa Diesel Performance, and it has been confirmed Garrett is recording this segment, so we're in good shape this time. So, but, just talk to Bruce about some cool stories and what his plans are moving forward. And, he had told me down in the infield that's what they were going to do, and I was like, took me a minute to process. I'm like, you got to be shitting me, Bruce. Like, what do you mean? But I get it. I mean, it's a lot, especially, like you said, 43 years of your weekends gone. And, but
Wouldn't trade it, though.
Right. Yeah.
More memories than most, honestly.
Correct. Yeah. And we do it because we love it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So like I said, I was a little taken back a little bit when he told me that, but no, I am I'm proud of you in making that decision. Like, it's got to be tough too, you know.
Yep.
So, well, let's roll into Adobe Lounge Power Rankings. Before that, I did want to mention the merchandise store is still open till the 31st.
Yeah, next Sunday.
So I was looking at numbers today. Stuff's rolling pretty good. So, yeah. But like I said, I know people are waiting till the last minute before it's like, oh, I got 5 days left to order this stuff or whatever. And we will have stuff on hand once Eric prints everything. So, do want to thank 905 Inc. For partnering with us on that stuff. So, just a few more days to get your pre-orders in on that stuff. It would be nice. Just go ahead and order this stuff if you think you're going to get something, because it helps us out, because then we can stay a little more organized. So,
we need help being organized. We've proven that.
Right. So, but anyway, beyond that, going into the power rankings, so I did run them, like I dumped them into the spreadsheet, and then it did change a little bit, obviously, because of we only had like half the features run, or a couple features compared to. But top 10 overall now for over the last 7 weeks with the formula that we've concocted. Jeremy Mills is number 1. Sacco's 2. Mike Smith is 3 in the sport mod. Todd Shute is 4th in the modified. Jimmy Gustin goes 5th in the stock car. Eric Knutson's up 2 spots in the hobby stock, obviously because of his both the features that he won. It still has Cam Reimers in 7th, but even with missing the 1 week, so there's a penalty in there for if you miss a week, but he's still in 7th because of obviously the weeks that he had prior.
Horse shit.
Bobcat's in 8th.
Up a spot?
No, I lost a spot.
Oh, you were 7th?
I was 7th last week.
Yeah, it says.
Or was I 9th?
No, I think you were. It says you were 8th last week too, but that doesn't seem right. Anyway, McBurney's 9th, and Devin Smith up 3 spots to 10. So, it says the biggest mover was Doug Smith after winning the feature. Jumps up to like eight spots. So, but yeah. Anyway, that stuff's moving around. Get through that, and then where's it? Oh yeah, I don't have internet on my computer because you got it on your phone.
I got it on my phone. Yeah.
Let her rip.
So our Elmquist Towing question of the week, and again, this was inspired by Bruce a little bit. What's your favorite racing picture taken of you or your favorite driver? Share and tag the photographer. Because I know sometimes the photographers don't get some credit.
Oh,
They usually do, but there are times.
A lot of them are very good with it.
And I was surprised. So we have 93 comments on this so far.
Wow.
It kind of blew up. And I'm actually surprised. Like the first handful, it's like taken by my mom, taken by my fiance, taken by my husband.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay,
But they take pictures too.
They take pictures, and pictures are special. I mean, we all take for granted now because, honestly, and if I'm being completely honest, this thing takes better pictures than anybody could take 40 years ago.
Well, and every photo is a moment in time.
Yeah.
That's why I like, unlike a video camera. Mm-hmm. It's one moment at a time.
Yep. We got a shot in here from Corey Rose. This is kind of funny. You just saw it too?
I just saw it. I'm laughing. He's got her up hang loose
I
style
made
there.
Yeah. It says Cooter had a hand in this too. I felt like I was on a spaceship. I'm not sure what to do with my hands. So.
Yeah, I memed him. Left turn law dog.
Yep. So, no, some really good stuff on there. And this, once again, this question, it just depends. Sometimes, the different ones that we've had, but something like this offers us an opportunity to see, what people's favorites were. And
right.
I'm actually excited to get home, get out my album, and get my favorite posted on there because, I said, I still have it, and I'm going to send it to Garrett to make sure he pieces it in. But, yeah, just very cool. And any of this stuff that we do on here, the people that jump on, take their time to go on and find a picture and throw in there is really neat. And, share those memories. And once again, with social media, and it's
Engagement.
Exactly. Yep. So very cool. Appreciate everybody doing that. Appreciate Elmquist Towing, sponsoring that little segment. And it's, I don't know, I can scroll through every one of these.
I know. Now I'm locked
Yeah,
into looking at the photos.
You get stuck
right now.
doing it, and it's like, I'm sure Bruce will look through later and like, well,
Yep.
did I take that one? Nope, I didn't take that one.
Yeah.
I took that one. Or so.
Well, and that's a funny thing too, because you really do know if it's your shot.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, there's so many times that you can see that photo and say, I was either there or the guy right beside me took that one.
Sure. Well, and like you guys have your own style, just like anything.
Correct.
So you can usually pick out like, oh, that's a Bruce shot, or oh, that's Jane's, or whoever. It's just you can start to, after you do it for so long, you can see who's got the
correct
style.
Yep.
Oh my gosh! Have you guys seen Matt Avila's post on here of him and Buck?
No, I was looking at Duckies.
Oh man, yeah, Ducky, yeah.
Ducky's got a good one.
Look
That
at
was,
Buck.
That's a pretty good week at Super Nationals.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Buck is a baby. That's baby
Oh,
Buck.
my God.
Look at that.
Buck.
There ain't a stitch of facial hair on that kid. Wow.
Oh man.
There again, memories.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, seriously, holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
That's one thing we didn't talk about was Buck picking up the big dub.
We need to touch base on that. Yeah. So the whole hog 50 at Stewart International last night. Man, what an event. The Van Eatonville Mafia, I'm going to say that, Lori and Brian and Nick and Shy and Tracy and everyone that's involved with that show down there. That if you didn't get to catch it on the broadcast last night, they had pig heads and pig butts for the draw. They were magnetized on a bush light with a little metal thing. Brian was having some toddies and come up with this fantastic idea.
It looked neat.
It was.
It did.
I mean, it really was. And I will say that's one of the only shows that you go to that they do a draw, and if the driver does not show up in his driving suit, he doesn't get the 12 pill. He starts behind the provisionals.
Oh, dead last.
Dead last.
Okay.
You don't want to come and support our event that we're doing. And I don't know if you guys seen it last night, but that place was absolutely
full.
packed.
I saw they panned the camera, and
It's
I was like,
giving me
there's cars parked on the road.
Literally.
On the far road.
It's giving me the jeebies right now because you get up there, and I told Todd and them, I'm like, the drivers need to be up there with their suit on. That's what the kids, like when I was a kid, I wanted to go down and I wanted to see Denny Stoneburner. And my dad too.
Yep.
But it's like the persona.
And there is something different about when they come and do the draw and they're in shorts and flip-flops.
Exactly.
Correct. Yeah,
Have the driver's suit on because you're different.
Yeah, exactly.
So one last little thing I'll throw in here that I think needs to come back. I think the kids club needs to come back.
Yeah.
Give those kids an opportunity to come down and be with their favorite driver.
Yep.
Maybe go flag a race, and do some of that. Make them part of it.
Saturday night.
I know you got to do it as a youngster.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, that's, to me, real important. Get the kid involvement. Those kids are there.
We do have a candy toss this weekend.
That's a good point.
Really? You guys got enough candy?
Got to order it.
Yeah, we gotta get it.
Walt, count me in for some Tootsies. The good Tootsies.
The good Tootsies.
Yeah,
not the-
I'll bring a bag of blues, a bag of reds, and some purples.
All right.
But
Josh,
Donnie Lindahl,
got to go to Costco.
Yeah.
Donnie Lindahl, member, used to go down to his old brown car and get me a little handful of candy every Saturday night. But back to the Stewart thing, quick.
Yeah.
We go out there, and there was some controversy on the racetrack, okay? And there was some controversy on Doom Scroll. So I'm going to bring that up because
I wasn't working there. I'm so excited about
I get hammered about it, And we go out there, and we decided this year all classes were going to start 3 wide, except the micros, mini mods.
Yep.
And I think that, Nobody else does that besides Super Nationals, that in IMCA for an IMCA show. And we take off there, and I jump the cushion down in 1 and 2 and catch the water patch that Mike left up there. And it just sucked me into the wall and spun me around. And I'm already hearing about it on the internet. Oh, he's on there crying and got his spot back. And actually, no, that didn't happen. Zip was taking photos of me. I was letting everybody drive by. My car was running. And I'm like, it was dangerous. Like, it was wet enough that it was dangerous up there. I mean, I didn't know that at the time, you know. I fully was expecting to go to the tail because I brought the yellow out. And so I come down the pit and I wave Zip over, and he comes over, and I'm like, hey, you need to tell Mike that it is unsafe up there. Like, and then I was talking to Jimmy about it. He goes, man, I thought I maybe clipped you a little bit or something, you know. And I'm like, no, I just got my right rear in that stuff, and it just sucked me into the wall. And so they come on the race receiver, and Mike just says, 6'9", we're going to give you your spot back. Guys, we watered the top of the racetrack for the longevity of this 50-lap race. You know, hopefully it's going to work in, and blah, 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 blah. Well, it ended up not being that great, and it just kind of one-laned up on us there. It was the same for everybody. Had a little controversy with the 41 car racing for a one-lane deal, and we got together, and, yeah, I tried taking him out. Race me how I'll race you. What Doomscroll didn't catch was the fact that I've raced with Thor Anderson and the Sport Mods and the Modifieds and now stock cars. Always gotten along great. We've always, just 2 weeks ago, we were at Marshtown Speedway, and we were doing this and shit and slicing and dicing, and he comes over and he's like, man, great race, you know, like, thanks for racing me clean and this and that and everything. So, of course, I do what I do, and I go down to his pit, and I literally walk up there, and I'm like, Thor, what the hell was that, man? And he's like, dude, I ran you over. And I, like, my jaw is still on the grass up there in the south field at Stewart, because people aren't like that. I didn't go there looking for a fight. I just know that Thor, like, it was just a racing deal. You know, and I wanted to show my displeasure. You know, I didn't run into him on the caution. I just gave him we got really good sign language. If you don't have the sign language race book, they do sell those on Amazon. So if you need the sign language race book, because there's a lot of that hand signal stuff. Jimmy and Devin gave us a nice little show of that here 2 weeks ago at the Moon Speedway. But I literally just was like, okay, Thor, I respect that. You know, and we shook hands, and it's over with. It was literally over with as soon as he was just like, hey, man, I screwed up. You know, and people say that I don't do that, and I do that, because we are all human, and we all make mistakes.
I've seen you do that.
And it's just part of racing. And I'm going to say it again for all the people that didn't hear it in the back. Maybe we're the people that are awake now here. But the day the racer quits caring about that is the day that our sport's in trouble. And the day, I'll say this, the day that I quit caring about that and quit going to people's pit to have a conversation with them, I didn't go down there to fight him. I'm going to sell all my shit.
Yep.
And quit going, because, you know, I mean, I got $200, and our little altercation on the track cost me like $75. You know, because of the pay. So I'm pissed I lost out on that $75. So life goes on, but Buck goes and finally gets to stick his tongue on the pig's nose down there in Victory Lane. What a great accomplishment. You know, Todd and Tracy are pretty hard on us boys about not ever being able to pick. I ran second there to the Murdies. The Murdies have dominated that show. And then, you know, Caden Carter comes in last year and okey-dokes us all and takes it away. So it was really cool to see Buck finally. And Buck runs good there, and they support the Stewart Speedway every week. So to see him get that, and he had to pass Damon.
He did.
And that wasn't a jab at Mike that the racetrack was top dominant. It just, sometimes that happens. And I think everybody out there made the best of it. But that's when you start to see that little bit more of aggressive driving, because you're all fighting for that same real estate. And we see that more times now than we don't, you know, and people start doing that stuff. So
well, let's face it too. You're running not just for the money at the show. You're also running for a shot at the All-Star race at Super Nationals.
100%.
Like there's a lot on the line for something like that.
Exactly.
And I texted Colton and Dakota as soon as Buck crossed the finish line. I said, "It's a bad day to be a Busch Light in Stewart, Iowa."
That is no shit.
They are going to put a hurting on them tonight. So,
Yeah.
But no, I was happy for them, and I don't know. Is that a little bit of karma for watermelons and wood chips? They come up here, and Todd and Buck was here, and then he goes down and wins.
I mean,
Something.
Kinda. I think
Maybe.
so. He was
We'll see.
scared. Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. So, questions done.
Mayhem.
We got to talk about some mayhem.
I mean,
How do you not give it to Colby again?
Yeah, OB's got to be.
Dude.
Obramp's got to be the guy.
Wrong.
Got a little air.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very prestigious award to get the Moffitt's Mayhem.
Right.
And the people that like they seriously bring it up to me like as I'm going through the pits or whatever. They're like, "Hey, you better have this be the Moffitt's Mayhem of the week."
I think we need to get stickers made. That's Moffitt's Mayhem and
sweet.
whatever. Like, if you make the Moffitt's Mayhem,
And you can
deal,
put the date on it.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a
Yeah,
good
you
idea.
are the Moffitt's Mayhem of this week. Here, slap this on your car.
Make them with a line with a date so you can just write it on there.
Right.
We can
Yeah.
do that. We have the technology, as
That's
I've
right.
heard you say.
We have-
That's a great idea. Let's do it.
I mean, I'm just saying. That's
Let's
why
make
I'm
it.
in management.
We'll make it
boys.
happen for Saturday.
Yeah.
This Saturday already.
Why not?
Don't threaten me with a good time.
That's right. Yeah, OB, come on, bud. Like, we'd rather talk to you in Victory Lane instead of this stuff.
I
but,
know.
I mean, are we going to have an award at the end of the year who has the most Moffitt Mayhems? Like, it might be
Yeah.
a $50 gift card here.
It
Stay
does
tuned.
provide for good photos too once in a while.
True.
Right.
Very true. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I think we covered everything.
Yeah, on that. No, want to thank Farley's also for coming on board.
Yep.
And,
Yep. Got the sign down there. I think we're going to try and find a little more permanent
yeah,
home
we'll get
for
this
it.
more
We're
laid
still-
out. We got the
still working.
Barbie over there
Yep.
and the Barntown over there.
I just had an idea for that. We got her fixed.
We're good on that. We got to get
Yep.
the Dale phone in here because I'm ready to.
Dale
we got
phone's
some-
next. We got some calls to make, don't we?
We got some calls to make. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
But real quick too, before we close this out, is there any big racing coming up? Any special events that I'm drawing a blank? Like, it kind of goes stagnant here for a little bit. We're going to just be doing some weekly stuff.
Yep.
And then I think, is Harris Clash going to be the first kickoff to then? Because shortly
Hawkeye
after that,
Challenge will be before that.
Yeah,
I
Hawkeye
think.
Challenge is the 20th of June.
so it's the week before the Harris
It's-
Clash.
It's Hawkeye, Harris. There's there's a little bit of a trifecta there.
So this weekend's the strength shop night
Yep.
for the
Kid and the Candy Toss.
Wait, when's the
Kids-
Bumblebee Nationals? Those are coming up soon too,
That's
right?
the 27th.
Yeah.
There you
Oh,
go.
the week-
There's the next one. So
week
it's,
after
yep, boom.
Clash.
Yep.
Bumblebee Tuna. Right?
Yep. Bumblebee Tuna Race.
Backpack.
I think Logan hates it. We say that, but it's all right.
Right. But there's no other shows. Like, they had the anniversary race over at Vinton last night. We
Yep.
didn't touch base on that. Tom
No,
Berry.
we didn't. Barry did it.
Tom Berry picked it up. Must have been a little bit of an altercation on the racetrack. I seen the quarter panel or the sail panel was flattened into the deck.
Oh. Okay.
Or maybe a wreck happened. I'm not really sure.
A dirty Tom, per se.
He's been throwing some clean toms from what
Okay.
I've seen. He did it went on a
right.
little tour this
We
weekend.
just needed to have him walk across the backyard to get to the shop. So
Right,
when
right.
he's at his in-laws' place.
He doesn't even walk. He's got this little one-footed scooter thing or one-wheeled scooter thing. I don't know how he balances.
You said he
on it,
comes
but
across the rock, scares you.
It
Like he's
does,
gonna
yeah.
go down.
But Dylan Van Wyck picking up the Sport Mod went over there for the Sport Mod portion of the anniversary.
Rage
I
car?
forgot. Yes, he is a rage car. Yep. I forgot that it was the anniversary weekend. Mm-hmm. And I mean, just because there was so much other stuff going on. So
Yep.
they are racing tonight in Bloomfield and at Hancock County Speedway. Mm-hmm. USMTS is up there tonight. They're running a real limited schedule. I've almost completely forgot. But also, guys, we need to touch base on this. Next Sunday, the 31st, the new IMCA Sports Parkway Fort Dodge Speedway is going to open up, and we are going to check it out. We're going to go check it out.
We're going to go as a group. We're going to hang out in the pits with the 69 car.
I'm taking an old helmet because I heard that it's a little rocky up there. So
It is a quarry. So.
I got Ivan printing me some knuckle braces or knuckle covers
3D
on the old 3D print.
Smart.
Because I've been up there and caught a rock or two, and I'll tell you, you'll be icing that finger for about a week.
Here's the deal, bud.
I've caught one right here when I was shooting.
No shit.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh. Yeah.
They don't tickle.
No.
Right. I'm excited because they've shortened the racetrack from what I hear. I haven't seen it. But I haven't been there in so long. I'm kind of excited about it. I'm going to have to reach on and rely on some of my peers for a gear selection. But that's kind of some exciting news. Sports Parkway opening up on the regular season. Like, because normally, 30 years ago, we weren't even starting racing till this weekend.
Right. Memorial Day
Or after, it was after Memorial Day.
then it was
weekend.
go time.
Then it was race season.
A lot of them did it that way.
Memorial Day to Labor Day.
So it's kind of cool that they're going back OG up there in the Big Dirty D.
Hey, you don't need to worry about rock guards when you're out front, bud.
Bullshit.
Oh,
Because I mean, you just never know.
Plan for the worst, hope for the best.
Correct.
Right.
So
Okay.
that's exciting. So kind of excited about that. If you can't make it up to Fort Dodge up there, it'd be really cool to see a good crowd up there. Switching back over to IMCA sanction. Get out there and support that place. It's been around for a long time. They've had a lot of trying years up there, and that's why I'm going. I'm going up to check it out. I'm going to go up and see the new shrunk track, and it'll give us something to talk about on the following podcast.
Oh yeah, yeah. We got to take the GoPro. We'll take a little footage. We'll have a good time. We'll get G up there. See. Never know. Maybe we'll get him in some trouble.
Maybe.
We good to close out?
I think so.
I mean, basically, with that being said, folks, we've covered everything. Bruce, we can't thank you enough for coming on here.
Thanks for inviting me.
Happy, sad retirement. Totally understand. Get out there and enjoy them grandkids. We've covered a lot of great stuff here on Watermelons and Woodchips. Episode, Terry Schaffer. We're going to close it out here. You've all been watching Watermelons and Woodchips. Thanks for tuning in.
Welcome to the Adobe Lounge located in Boone, Iowa at 915 West Mamie, Eisenhower. Our hours are Monday to Friday, 1 p.m. to close, Saturday and Sunday, noon to close. Come enjoy some of the strongest drinks in town and the best homemade pizzas around. Whether you're stopping in to relax, meet friends, or grab a bite, the Adobe Lounge is the place to be. See you soon.